early this morning. They got to see your face quite a bit this week, and Maura was sort of the gal about town, throwing out first pitches, going to Seahawks practice. We're going to get some takeaways from Maura at 8 o'clock. What were you doing? You're throwing out the first pitch?
Yeah, the Junior League softball World Series is in town. It's girls, I think 12 to 14 years old from all over. I got to hear the Italian national anthem yesterday, which I've never heard before. It's kind of fun. It's upbeat.
As it should be.
And the girls were singing along. That was really fun. And at the end, they even did a little, like, they pumped their fists in the air and go like, "Hey!"
Okay, nice.
It was there's
So it's when they say World Series, it's really international.
Truly, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I was talking to Ben, who's in charge over there, who invited me to throw out that first pitch. And he said, yeah, they've got people in from the Philippines. Those Italian girls yesterday, there was Team Canada. And then obviously for the U.S., they have I think they have an East and a West Coast team. It was really cool. And they did a kickoff on Friday night just to kind of let everyone know that this was going on in town. They did a celebrity softball game with Marcus Trufant and Terry Holloman.
Did you play in that?
No,
Okay.
but Lyle was over there on Friday.
Did Lyle play in that?
If I'd been invited, I would have played.
So you're not quite celebrity status enough for that?
I guess.
I mean, they had to fill out 18 people, right? I mean, like, there's only so many Marcus Trufants.
Well, they have more than 18 people. It was more than just 9 per team.
Okay, and were they all famous, or were you as famous as some of the people out there?
Yeah, I guess.
Really?
I saw our friend Brian Walters at Seahawks practice
You're
Saturday.
not as famous as him. He won a ring.
He was on one of the teams. I asked him if they won, and he said somehow the way it split up that he ended up on a team with more football players, and they were playing former baseball and softball players, and they got their butts kicked.
Yeah. I bet Brian's pretty good. If he hits the baseball or softball anywhere near as hard as he hits a golf ball, then I bet it goes a long way.
Well, it's funny. I thought he was going to actually hit one out because they put out like cones, probably 200-ish feet out or whatever it is, maybe a little farther. But they were playing at Lee Johnson Field in Kirkland, which is where I grew up playing games. And I thought B. Walt would hit one like over the second fence, but he
never
didn't
did.
do it. No.
He's a pretty good athletic guy.
Yeah.
I bet when he was younger, he could definitely do that. All right. So how'd the first pitch go, Maura? Overhand or underhand? What do you do for softball?
So I actually asked about that. Thought about it. Chris, my boyfriend Chris brought it up, which was funny because he doesn't care about any sports other than BMX, which he grew up doing. So I was surprised he even thought of that. But I was like, that's a good question. And then I saw Brian at practice, and he was like, I was wondering the same thing. Like, are they going to laugh at me if I throw overhand? So I asked, and they said, yeah, I mean, if you basically, the girls will have a little more respect for you if you throw underhand because that's what they do. But I was told I didn't have to do the whole, wind up because who knows where that would end up. I don't have any control.
You didn't do the whole whip thing.
No. Okay. They said just an underhand toss. So I practiced a little beforehand, and Ben told me I was throwing with my right and stepping forward with my right. And he told me to step forward with my left foot. Yeah. So we did I got coached up.
Okay, good.
So I think the first game was that Italian team versus I think that was the Central team here, which I think ended up being, I'm not sure what that, I'm sorry. They all had regional names, but then they were from more specific places. Like I think the East team was from Indiana.
Okay.
So I threw out that pitch, and then I made it to the plate. The girl told me, "Nice pitch." I think she was being kind. It was so.
Because 13 to 14-year-old girls are known for their kindness. Yeah. Okay.
Then what they wanted me to do was autograph the ball and then hand it to the catcher and take a picture, which I felt very weird about because I don't think she wanted my autograph.
No.
I think I probably should be asking for their autographs.
Right.
But so I did that one and then went straight to the next field for that game starting and did the second one, and I bounced that one.
Oh, that hurts.
Yeah.
A little ding to the pride. All right. Well, did
and then
you
I
step with the
autographed
right?
that ball and gave it to the catcher from Team Canada because that's what they told me to do, to take a picture. And she looked at me like,
What are you doing? Who are you? What is the Brock and Salk show? I live in Canada. No, I care. I live in Italy. You think I care about the Brock and Salk show? Dear God. All right.
No, but I was watching these girls warm up, and especially the pitchers. They're very impressive. So it's going on next couple of days. I know when I talked to Brian Walters, he's throwing out a pitch on Tuesday. So if you happen to be over in the Kirkland area, it's at Everest Park.
Cool.
Go support them.
Awesome.
Pretty cool.
Awesome. Very cool. All right. And Lyle, you were over there Friday as well, right? So that's
Yeah, again, Friday was at Lee Johnson. Sunday, I think the tournament's up at Everest Park. Like the two places I basically grew up on baseball. So I don't know. It's always cool to see those events.
two places where you mashed, where you dropped bombs.
Yeah.
Better than the Big A, I guess, because that just seems to be just house of horrors for the Mariners. They just, for whatever reason, can't get it done in that building. And look, I mean, like a sweep on the road is not the or a split rather on the road is not the end of the world. But weren't you kind of hoping they were going to win 3 out of 4, especially after winning game 1 and game 3? You're like, yeah, this, and you got your horse in theory on the mound yesterday. You'd really like to win that game. The rotting corpse of Mike Trout hits a home run to beat you yesterday. Did you know, Lyle, he used to be a good player? Like, I know that you don't always remember things from, early in your life or maybe even before you were born. Did you know Mike Trout used to be good? You'd have trouble recognizing it now because he's awful. But did you know he used to be like a really good player?
Doesn't awful feel a little extreme?
Barely. I watch him play. I can't believe comparatively awful. All right, he's not an awful player, but compared to what he was, 7-8 years ago, when you couldn't get him out. I mean, he was unreal, especially against the Mariners. You watch him now, like, I'm excited for the lineup to turn back around to him because I know he's not going to get a hit till he finally just happened to get lucky and club one. Who would you rather see in a clutch spot, him or Shanuel?
I would not want to pitch to Trout. It's still Mike Trout.
Forget that, man. You can get that guy out so many different ways. The bat doesn't look the same. The bat speed.
He's still OPS at 818.
Doesn't look like it, at least from what I've seen this year. He looks awful, like the rotting corpse of Mike Trout. Just not the same player at all. Not even close. So,
if you want the answer to if I knew that Mike Trout used to be good or not, I mean, do you want me to respond with what I responded this weekend?
Do you know that Mike Trout used to be good?
Almost as well as I knew that Troy Percival was at third base.
Why do you know all that?
Because if you ask me baseball history questions, I'm going to get them right. If you ask me history on anything else or anything culturally, I'll get it wrong. Wasn't it parts of 2? It was like late 30s, early 40s.
40s, yeah. I mean, I guess it's it's a little bit late there. But yeah, you're right. I recently heard from somebody who was about your age who thought that World War II took place in the 80s. And to me, having grown up in the 80s and not having a lot to do with World War II, something my grandfather fought in. Anyway, I thought I would ask, Naylor, initial perception, good, right? I mean, looks good. He looks like what he's supposed to look like. He has good at bat. He puts the ball in play. He came up with a couple of hits. Like, he's going to make the lineup better. You didn't necessarily get to see it yesterday as they just kind of, I don't know, just didn't show up for the final game of the series. The Bats didn't. But, yeah, I mean, like, he's what he's supposed to be. He's a really good addition to this lineup for the last couple months of the season. But it's probably going to matter more, like, what else happens around him. Julio hitting 4 home runs in 3 days, kind of a big deal. Like, if Julio's getting ready to go off, and that's usually a pretty good sign that he's ready to do that, that's a pretty important step, right? No? Why do you look skeptical?
Because he's on the road. He'll get hot on the road.
Oh, my God. Come on. When Julio gets hot, though, like hot, when he starts doing he hasn't done this at any point this year, even home, road, whatever. He has not done anything like 4 home runs in 3 days. He's starting to heat up, I think. And if you get a month of hot Julio and Cal stays and keeps hitting home runs, and now you add Naylor, there's some reason for some optimism. Going to have to figure the pitching thing out, though, because you can't be behind the 8 ball every week. Anyway, we'll talk more about them over the course of the morning. Angie Mentink, who I was texting with during the game, she's going to join us at 8:30. We've got Ichiro sound to play. We got a ton of football stuff going on today. Stick around. Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710.
Seahawks training camp is underway.
That is music of the year.
And nobody gives you more insider access than the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Coach McDonald sitting down with us right now. This thing on and ready for you.
Watch how the Seahawks roster comes together.
Seattle Sports training camp coverage is presented by the Landing in Renton.
Seahawks training camp on Seattle Sports on 710, the Seattle Sports app, and the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
Need a new roof but not in the budget? A new roof doesn't have to break the bank. Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors here. Right now, State Roofing and Exteriors is offering 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. That's 2 years with no payments while getting the protection your home deserves. But this offer won't last forever. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to get on our summer schedule now. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. 1 discount per household.
Man, look at that Return of the Old King, man. Oh, wow. Emotional.
King of the Hill is back.
They got a Bob's in the airport now. Oh, that's Boba.
World has changed, Dad.
Bobby wants to bring that new girl over for dinner.
The Vegas? What the hell am I supposed to feed her?
Can't we just put some grass in a bowl?
From Mike Judge and Greg Daniels.
Ready to make some memories, Dad?
Let's freaking go.
A Hulu original series, King of the Hill. Season premiere August 4th, streaming on Hulu.
I'm Matt Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Your car steering wheel could be a ticking time bomb. At least 24 people have died and many more injured because their airbags fired shrapnel at them upon inflating. Tens of millions of cars have been recalled. If you suffered cuts that required stitches, hearing or vision loss, or broken bones, please contact us today. You could be owed money for medical bills and other damages.
Morgan & Morgan. Visit us at badairbags.com for an office near you. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
The home of the Mariners.
It is gone! Cal Raleigh, 2-run home run!
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Want to cut your home energy bills, breathe cleaner air, and improve comfort? The answer, AeroSeal from Home Comfort Alliance. This advanced process seals leaks in your ductwork, improving efficiency and air quality. Normally $2,500. Right now, for PSC customers, get AeroSeal for as little as $99 when they install a furnace or heat pump. Plus, save up to 25% on remaining 2024 heat pumps and air conditioners from Home Comfort Alliance. Visit HomeComfortAlliance.com today.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Yeah, splitting on the road, not necessarily the worst thing, but this time of year, I think you'd like to have a little more success against an Angels team that's just about ready to be totally out of this playoff picture and folded up. Unfortunately, a split's all you get. They outscored the Angels 14-11, but they lose in a walk-off fashion on Friday.
1-0. Swung on, Q shot, right side. Cole Young dives. It's off his glove. It's into right field. It's a base hit. Wade around third base. He's going to score, and it's heartbreak for the Mariners.
Yeah, it was frustrating, and I just, look, this is not a Dan Wilson thing. This is a managers around the league thing. I don't understand why you're using your closer in a tie game on the road in the ninth. I just don't get it. Like, you're going to need to get through at least one more extra inning in order to win that game. Don't you think that Andres Munoz is better equipped to come into a difficult situation with a man on second and nobody out in the 10th and try to get strikeouts than Casey Legumina is? Let Legumina try to get out of just the ninth inning, where there's nobody on base if you've got to use them. It continues to drive me nuts, and you see it all the time in baseball. I just don't understand it, and I don't think it's the best practice. The good news, though, for the weekend, Julio, 4 home runs over 3 days. He looks pretty locked in.
3-1. Swung on. That is cross center field. It is on its way to the rocks, and it is gone. A massive home run by Julio. He does it again. Bedrock in Anaheim. Julio is on fire. He's tied this game. It is 1-1. He's on a home run binge, his 3rd straight game with a homer. He's got 4 in the series.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Cal hit 2. He gets to 41 now in the season. That was the only offense yesterday. Randy stays hot. And I thought Josh Naylor looked exactly like the hitter he's supposed to be. The other side of that, Logan Gilbert, mortal. J.P. Crawford in a just horrid slump. And, yeah, I mean, you're just still waiting for this team to start showing a little bit more of that consistency instead of a day good, a day bad, etc. Fortunately, Houston swept it home by the A's, so the deficit remains at 4 in the West. They do fall into a tie for the 3rd wildcard spot with Texas, 3 up on Tampa.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
All right, so how great was Ichiro rather this weekend as he was enshrined into the Hall of Fame along with CC Sabathia, or at least what's left of him, and Billy Wagner. Just loved hearing him speak in English. I thought we got to see a little bit of everything from Ichiro. We got to see some of the playful side of him, and I thought he was funny, like outright funny at times.
Shortly after I retired, Yumiko and I had a date night. We did something we had never been able to do while I was a player. We sat in the stands and enjoyed a Mariners game together. We did it the American way by eating hot dogs. Of all the experiences baseball has given me, enjoying a hot dog at a game with the person most responsible for helping me reach this moment is the most special.
Yeah, he did a really nice job of weaving back and forth between the entertaining and the serious and offering a lot of really great life lessons. At the heart of it was a love for the Mariners and for the people of Seattle.
I am grateful to the Oryx Blue Wave for allowing me to challenge myself in MLB. I am also grateful to the Seattle Mariners for believing that I could become the first position player from Japan in American baseball. I have been in love with Seattle and the Mariners ever since. Thank you, Seattle.
Yeah, just a really nice sentiment. I'll play you more sound over the course of the morning. Some really nice stuff talking about setting goals for yourself and what it means to pay attention to the details. So a lot of great stuff from Ichiro. Huge congratulations to him. And personally, I was just excited to see Billy Wagner in there also. That guy was nasty. I loved him when he was playing, and happy to see him recognized and go into the Hall of Fame. Meanwhile, 3 days to go. That's it. 3 days before the trade deadline. Mariners still want to be active at third base and especially in the bullpen. I'll play some sound from Jerry Dipoto a little bit later as he went on Sirius XM and talked about how active they will be looking for a leverage arm. Yankees took themselves out of the Geno Suarez market, it looks like, on Friday as they went and acquired Ryan McMahon from Colorado. Yeah, I don't know what that deal is, but okay.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Who made Lyle happy? He was laughing at that one. Which was funnier, the Yankees acquiring Ryan McMahon or the Mariners making Dylan Moore available? Oh, Dylan Moore's available? Oh, thanks for telling us. He's 2 for 60. Where do I call? Please, what's the number? Seahawks put the pads on for the first time today. Maura, we're going, right? I'm going, I promise. Are you going?
Yes.
All right.
I mean, I don't want to miss Patch for the first time.
All right. Maura and I are going to practice today, so we will tell you what's going on there as they start hit for the first time. Mike McDonald, pretty happy with how things have been.
It's a great practice. A lot of great spirit, a lot of great competition. It's the right mix of like, hey, we're getting after it, but we're taking care of one another, sharpening each other, talking some smack. All three phases doing a lot of great stuff. But there is, I mean, it's obvious there's plenty of, we're not even close to being where we need to be. We know that. But, for day 3, just excited about the effort, the intent, and just the overall competition. So that was a great day.
And here's that word intent again. Things really have gone pretty smoothly throughout camp so far. The only one big injury, Kenny McIntosh, unfortunately suffered an ACL tear, likely out for the season. As Lyle pointed out a few minutes ago, pretty good news, I would think, for Damian Martinez if he's looking to make the team this year. That is everything you need to know, 1:15 every hour here on the Brock and Salk Show. I don't mean to make fun of Dylan Moore, who, quite frankly, I like, and he's, a streaky player, and he's had good streaks and bad streaks, and obviously he's kind of going through it right now. I was just more laughing that was a big part of a Ken Rosenthal trade deadline article. Like, come on, Ken. There's a lot going on in baseball and a lot of potential targets. What I'm hearing, Dylan Moore could be available by the Mariners? That is a bottom of the barrel trade deadline note. And it was like a major component of that story. I don't know about that one. That one made me chuckle. All right. Let's see. We're going to do a bunch of stuff today. Brock's out. I should probably tell you that just in the spirit of honesty. So we are sort of a screwy show. AJ Barner's going to join me right at 7 o'clock. That's right. It's 7 o'clock. That's not a time we normally have guests, but we're going to move some things around for AJ, and I got some questions for him. So he's a great interview. I've heard him talk a little bit. Saw him at the podium the other day. He'll join us at 7. We'll do a little late version of Blue 88 with Bump. Actually, it'll probably be on time. 7:45 with Bump. We've got, as I mentioned, Maura's takeaways. I've got Angie Mentink, who's going to join me at 8:30, talk some baseball, and then back to some football at 9:30 with Brady Henderson, who I got to see yesterday. A little shout out, happy birthday to Brady, who had 5 birdies on his round, which was pretty good. Don't want to talk about that 8 he pulled on 17, though. That kind of ruined things for him. So Brady will join us at 9:30, and we'll talk some football with him. So as you can see, a lot of varied football and baseball stuff over the course of the day. Before we get to it, I really enjoyed this. I hope you will, too. I've been kind of into this. The PWHL team, which is coming to Seattle. They don't have a name yet, but they start play this year. Tickets have already been sold. I actually am now a season ticket holder with some friends, and got an opportunity to sit down with their general manager, Megan Turner, and their first-round pick, Jenna Buglioni, for a really cool interview. They got a lot of personality. They got a lot of I don't know. I think you guys will like this. I'm pretty excited about the league. What I watched was great, and we're going to shout them out and let you get to meet these two next on Brock and Salk.
Wyman and Bob, afternoons 2 to 7.
I was always a guy that, if I could get an interception, man. How many did you have in your career? 3.
How many should you have had? If you, as you put it, if you didn't have frying pan hands.
Yeah, I would say probably double that. When I was in high school, I played in a state championship game. I had 2 interceptions in one game, and I was like, that was my favorite game. I just loved that.
Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton, afternoons 2 to 7 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Matt Coker here from West Coast Men's Health. Guys, Viagra is not the answer for your problem. I know you think it is, but Viagra has horrible side effects, and for most men, the longer you're on it, the less it works. Viagra is not a curative medication. It's not fixing your problem. It's a Band-Aid for a shark bite. Acoustic wave therapy is the newest technology that can correct your problem, not just treat it. We can do something that no pill can do. We can restore your blood flow naturally. Get off Viagra today. Change your life like the thousands of men who already have, regardless of your age or your medical history. If you're tired of dealing with Peyronie's disease or erectile dysfunction, then call West Coast Men's Health today.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
From whiplash to herniated discs, there are a few car accident injuries we've all heard of. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains that even the most common injuries differ from one another.
Pre-existing conditions, health history, beginning of treatment. There are hundreds of factors that make every person and every injury unique. While these variables aid medical treatment, the strongest case recoveries must also take them into account.
Could you explain a little bit more?
Our team at Pendergast Law is obsessed with turning over every stone to differentiate each case. This requires thorough investigation, diligent listening, and relentless research. We never pursue cases with a one-size-fits-all approach. We built our success by treating every injury and every case with the individualized attention our clients need and deserve.
Pendergast Law's individualized approach to even the most common injuries makes the difference in case outcomes. It's another reason why I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
At Progressive, we understand the bond you have with your boat. It's why people name theirs.
I named my boat Sure Don't. Get it? The other day when my friend said, "Hey Larry, you want to head back in? It looks like it might rain." I said, "Sure don't." I guess they didn't get it because they didn't laugh.
Whatever you call your boat, protected by insuring it with Progressive, America's #1 boat insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. #1 rating based on boat market share data from refilings.com.
Whether you're building a single roof or a successful roofing business, roofing contractors like you need the right tools for the job, and software is no exception. Service Titan is on a mission to be the most powerful software platform for the trades, with purpose-built technology proven to maximize revenue, streamline operations, and deliver 5-star customer experiences. We are taking roofing companies like yours to the next level and beyond. Service Titan. We are built for this. See what we can do for roofers at servicetitan.com.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
The home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Cal swinging a drive, deep to right field.
Every pitch of every Mariners game is on the Seattle Sports app.
Does your yard need shade, privacy, or a little brightening up? Look no further than Big Trees. I'm Nancy Penrose, owner of Big Trees in Snohomish. At our 30-acre location, there are thousands of trees to choose from and knowledgeable staff, including a board-certified master arborist, to help you find exactly what you're looking for. Visit the nursery and learn more about Big Trees at bigtreesupply.com.
Beauty, privacy, instantly. Big Trees.
It's the World Fighting Championships at Emerald Queen Casino Event Center, Saturday night, October 25th. Experience the thrill and excitement of high-energy mixed martial arts. Tickets at emeraldqueen.com. Don't miss this amazing professional mixed martial arts event, the World Fighting Championships, October 25th at Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. 21 and older. Need gambling help? Call 800-547-6133 or visit emeraldqueen.com.
It's time for your summer road trip service at Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton. Before you hit the road, stop by and get your vehicle road trip ready with their incredible service departments, no appointment necessary. Now through July 31st, you can receive $100 off when purchasing 4 eligible tires. Whether you're in the north or the south, their expert technicians have you covered. Visit Toyota of Renton and Toyota of Kirkland today for your summer road trip service and drive into adventure with confidence. Offers valid through July 31st, 2025. Restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
You've heard the saying, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Since 1926, my family's been helping local businesses make great first, second, and long-term impressions. We know how to make your company look good with quality uniforms, logoed apparel, floor mats, linens, and more. If you're paying for linen service or doing it yourself, let's have the conversation. The information and quote are free, but the savings and service can really add up. Visit suplinen.com. Superior Linen Service. It's what we do.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Brock and Salk's Rewind is presented by Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton.
All right, well, this is pretty cool as we are in the video lounge with some special guests, and I wish I could name the team. I wish I could say from the Seattle something, but we still don't know. Hopefully soon we're going to get a name for the new PWHL team here in Seattle, Pro Women's Hockey League. But we do have a couple of special guests. We've got Megan Turner, who's the GM of this team, and that's kind of an interesting position in a league that is owned that owns all of the teams. So I'm kind of curious how that works and what that looks like. And then Jenna Buglioni, who is the first round pick of the unnamed team here in Seattle, first draft pick in their history. So I want to get to know you a little bit, and maybe let's start there because not quite local, but Vancouver area. So pretty cool to get to start in Seattle.
Yeah, I spent the last 5 years in Columbus, so it's going to be awesome to be closer to home. It's only a quick 2.5-hour drive for my family to be able to come down and explore the city. I spent a little bit of time in Seattle growing up, but it'll be nice for them to be able to come down and catch a lot of games and finally be able to see me play more often.
When did you know that this was possible? I mean, the league wasn't around that long ago. You're a kid growing up in Vancouver. You're playing hockey. Was this a dream to figure out a way to do it professionally? Was it Olympics? Like, what were you thinking as a kid?
Yeah, when I was younger, it was always, I want to play on Team Canada. I want to go to the Olympics. And as the pioneers in women's hockey started to kind of make leagues happen, that was where the focus also went. And then it was more when this league started coming about when I was in college, I was like, okay, that's really where I want to be. Like, it's becoming a lot more sustainable, and that's my next goal. Obviously, still want to make it to the Olympics, but becoming a professional athlete was that next step before then.
I want to make the interview in general more about hockey than women's hockey, but it's sort of hard to ignore since it's the Women's Hockey League. Growing up, are you playing all-girls hockey? Were you playing co-ed hockey? What did that look like for you in your journey?
Yeah, I first started in boys hockey, and then I made the switch over just because the relationships started to become a lot more important. And then there was checking that started happening in boys hockey, and I obviously was a little bit of a smaller player, and the boys just had that like crazy growth spurt at that time. So yeah, I made the switch over for Pee Wee age, and then been playing girls the rest of the way.
You said the relationships. I assume that's got to start to matter in the locker and the dressing room, right? Like you gotta be around people that you feel that connection with. Is that kind of what you're saying there?
Yeah, feeling comfortable, and the people are everything. I mean, if you're not with people that are helping support you and guide you in the right direction, it's pretty hard to do things well and enjoy it when you're there. So that was probably something that was really important to me.
You mentioned the checking. So my understanding is there's no checking in women's hockey. And then I went to the game here between the Montreal and Boston teams. I didn't really come away thinking that there was no checking. It seemed like there was a lot of checking and a lot of physicality. And quite frankly, it's one of the reasons I wanted to have you guys in, because I fell in love watching it. It looked just the way I wanted hockey to look. Might have been more physical than some of the Kraken games I've watched over the last couple of years. So is there checking in women's hockey?
I would say so. Yeah,
I can take this one.
Yeah.
Jump in. Is there checking in women's hockey?
It's a modified version of it. So there's rules around physicality. You can make hits, but there's kind of a specific way to make the hit to not endanger the other player. So like open ice hits where you're going the opposite direction are not allowed. But if your feet are moving in the same direction and you're both going the same way, you can certainly deliver a hit.
Well, I was impressed. I just could not believe how physical the game was, and just, a really high quality. Is that part of the design of the team? You get to design what kind of a team you want. What kind of team should we expect?
Yeah, well, I think Jenna embodies it here. She likes to get into battles and along the boards and, be physical. But I think overall, just a hard to play against teams, a team that when you get on the ice, you're a little nervous to play them and a little nervous to have some sustained offense. And it would be hard to get the puck back, kind of playing keep away. So definitely, I think we have a good balance of skill and size on both the front end and the back end. So
what's won in the league the last couple of years? Like what style, what traits have the winners had in the PWHL the last couple of years?
Yeah, I think, we can look to Minnesota because they've won both years. And I think for them, they do a few things that I've seen. First is they're really fast. So they move the puck up the ice very quickly, but they can also skate the puck up the ice very quickly. They stretch zones so they don't collapse and create small spaces for themselves. They really create open ice and create opportunities. And then they have a lot of depth, and they have depth scoring, so they can score from their first line to their fourth line. And I think that's what has won championships for them is kind of those three elements from my observations.
So you got kind of an interesting story. But I'm just looking at your resume, so I don't know you very well. I'm just meeting you here in the last few minutes, but started at Phillips Exeter, one of the great elite private schools, boarding schools in the country. Then you go to Quinnipiac to play hockey. Then you go to PricewaterhouseCoopers, of course, Big Five consulting firm, or whatever it is, Big Four now. And now you're the GM. Like, how does that path work?
Not linear, I would say. I always wanted to work in hockey and in sports, but in college, you go to the career fairs, and I was in business school, and so the big four was really attractive. They just do a lot of good things and do a lot of things right, and there's a lot of growth opportunity within those organizations, and you can do a lot of different things. So I kind of gave up on thinking I would work in sports, to be honest with you, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do this PWC thing, and I kind of decided that I would stick it out and stay in consulting for 30-something years. I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. This is going to be my career path because it's a good one. And then Danielle Marmer, long story short, approached me and was like, hey, I got this job in Boston. Do you want to come work with me?
So you weren't like doodling on pieces of paper, like line combinations you wanted to put together one day?
No, not at all. I was like pretty present in the moment about what my job. But when the league came about, I was like, wow, this is amazing. Yeah. I played in some of the predecessor leagues post-college. And so it was just kind of, watching as the Pioneers were doing their thing, bringing the women's game up.
Did you learn anything from your time in the business world that you're now taking with you to this world?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the biggest thing for me is from consulting, you have to take every project as something that's kind of starting from scratch. Like sometimes you might have a template to go off of, but you're really you're staffing a team. And then you're delivering on the work that you've promised and agreed to with your clients. So just being able to ramp up really, really quickly and then deliver work at a high level under a lot of stress and pressure, that is something I'm pretty used to from that.
So GM of a team in a league that is owned, the league owns all the teams.
Yep.
So it's a funny press release when it says the league has hired you
sure.
to be the GM. But
yeah.
Okay, so what does that look like when you're building a team? Do you have to go through the league for whatever you do? Like how would that be a unique quality for a GM in a league like this?
Yeah, it's a good question. So they give you a lot of autonomy, obviously. They hired me, and it's my responsibility to go build a team and a staff and an organization and build the culture out there. But I have a good foundation that I can build upon and a lot of support from the league level. So they obviously have huge networks when I'm hiring and can help me and support me there. They have a lot of resources, and they want ownership. They try to streamline some things, like from an equipment perspective, ordering, things of that nature. So it really is a good balance of allowing some autonomy, or a lot of autonomy, in me structuring my own organization, but giving me the support that I need to do so.
So I'll tell you guys a quick story, and it'll lead into the next part of this conversation. And bear in mind, it was a story I was expecting to tell to Hillary Knight, because she was originally going to be here this morning. We'll talk to her when she gets back. So a couple months ago, I got a text thread with some buddies and who aren't huge sports fans, but I think it might have been during the Four Nations thing. And someone said, "Hey, Mike, who's the best?" They know I'm a hockey guy. Who's the best American hockey player of all time? And I'm thinking, and I'm like, it's probably Brett Hull, but you could make a case for 2-3 other people, and maybe it's, I don't know, Tony Mott. Going through some names, maybe it's. So I go with Brett Hull. And my daughter, Cecily, who plays hockey, is sitting next to me, and she looks over at my phone and sees it, and she looks at me and goes, "Dad, it's Hillary Knight." Yeah, you're absolutely right. Of course it's Hillary Knight. She's clearly the greatest American hockey player of all time. If there's a debate between 4 or 5 guys, she's far and away the greatest female American hockey player of all time. Mm-hmm. You're now her teammate. How's that feel?
I mean, right after I got drafted, I got a text from her, and I didn't even really feel real. I mean,
had you met her before? Or
I had never
talked to
met
her,
her
nothing?
before, nothing. Just never really crossed paths with her. But she is such an elite hockey player. Her resume speaks for itself, but also how she is off the ice, I think, is even more impressive. The second I got here, she made me feel so welcomed, and I think I've asked her probably about 1 million questions, but she's just so available to help, and I'm super excited to get to learn from her. I hope I can have a successful and long career like she has had, and just to be able to be at least a sliver like she is, I think will be incredible.
What is it that sets her apart on the ice? Why is she the greatest?
I think that every zone she makes an impact. She can score, she can lock it down the D zone. She's not afraid of, it seems like, anything on the ice. Yeah, and she's fast and she's physical. She has a little bit of every component to make a great hockey player.
And you were with her last year, Megan. So, when I saw you got hired, I'm looking at the resume. I'm like, Boston. Hillary was there last year. I wonder if they have a relationship at all. And I'll admit, I kind of thought the same thing with Lane Lambert. And I was like, oh, he was in Toronto. Maybe Mitch Marner's on his. Well, that didn't happen. But the Hillary Knight thing certainly did.
It did.
Was that partly because of a relationship that you formed with her there?
Yeah, I think I just had the benefit of seeing how she not only played, obviously, but how she was in the locker room. And to Jenna's point, you can tell she takes care of the team. She's a fantastic leader. And she does the little things in every zone, and you obviously know when the puck's on her stick, she's going to score a goal. So she's a leader through and through. And so I had witnessed that for 2 years in Boston, and so it was a no-brainer for me to bring her on board and build a team around her.
Give me one other name. You built this team. Obviously, we've gotten to meet Jenna. Hillary is the most known quantity in the league,
Sure.
let alone on the team. If you come in here at the end of this year and we're talking about how the year went, give me one more name of somebody that's going to have a direct factor into how successful your season is.
Oh gosh,
It's hard to pick one.
It's really
I know what
hard
you
to
mean.
pick one.
Yeah.
I think Jenna's gonna do an amazing job.
Well, that's because she's sitting next to you.
Yeah, well, no, she's gonna. You know what? She's a competitor,
Okay.
and she's gonna do really great in this league. I could go down the list of everyone on the roster. I really could. I think we will be talking about every single player in this team because they are all so good and they are all great people. And I know that they're going to get into the community and people are going to see that firsthand. So I'm hesitant to pick one because I really do think that they're all great.
That's what you get at PricewaterhouseCoopers. Learn that at Phillips Exeter and all the way through. I love it. Well, it's great to meet you both. When do we know when we're getting a name to the team? Do we have a timing? Nothing? I know you're not really in the business side of it. Can we get anything? No information?
We'll know and you know. How about that?
Well, my other daughter would like
really
the
dissatisfying.
She's pushing for the spruce.
The spruce.
The Seattle
spruce. I like the alliteration.
She saw somebody had something like that at the barnstorming game, so she's hoping for spruce. So if you have any pull,
we'll put in a good word.
Right, thank you. It's really great to meet you both. Excited to watch the league this year, and just continue. Good luck. I think it's just such a cool thing. Love the product, and really excited to have this as part of the Seattle sports scene.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. Appreciate it.
All right, so that was super fun. I enjoyed that. Two people that you can just sort of get a sense as to what they're building there with the league and with the team. And, as I said, I went to the game as Boston and Montreal played here last year and was just kind of blown away by the level of competition, by the physicality. And they'll be starting this year, September, October, I believe. So looking forward to watching some of those games and chatting more with some of the players and people involved. All right. So we're 3 days away from the trade deadline, right? 3 days away. Mariners have just sort of been up and down, win 3, lose 3, win 1, lose 1, win 2, lose 2. It just feels like they've been riding this sort of 500 wave here for a while, which, you can afford to do because it's a down American League, because, there's not a lot of challenge right now for the wild card. Texas has kind of pulled up into it. But it just feels like every week one of these teams goes on a 4-game losing streak and kind of gives you the opportunity to stay right there with them. This week that was Houston who decided to kick the bucket. So we'll see if they're able to get themselves and their ship righted again. But yeah, I mean, Mariners make the first big move. They get Josh Naylor. What do they do next? Well, you sure would love to see another bat, right? And the Eugenio Suarez thing is not going to go away, nor should it. Nor is Willie Castro. Like, both of those guys would be an upgrade right now for this lineup. The Yankees, I think, have taken themselves out of it, and I don't know what's going on with the Yankees. Like, do they think they're contenders or not? There's John Heyman the other day was like, the Yankees are going to, and look, I don't always trust Heyman, but I do when it comes to the Yankees. And he's like, the Yankees are not going to be as aggressive, and they don't want to be as all in this year because they're not sure they're that good. And now Aaron Judge is hurt, obviously, and he's going to miss some time. And so they go and get Ryan McMahon, which I don't know that I understand, but okay, fine. Hey, look, I didn't get it when they got Jazz Chisholm last year, and he's been really good since they acquired him. So maybe Ryan McMahon will get better. But Lyle, I think you pointed out the other day, the guy's never been better than an average hitter, if even an average hitter. He's coming from Colorado. He's getting paid money, which the Yankees don't care about. But does he make them significantly better?
No.
It sure doesn't feel that way. So, okay, fine, whatever. Let them take that, and that takes the Yankees, you would think, with Chisholm and with McMahon. They're not going to be in on Geno Suarez, right? Especially if Aaron Judge is going to need to DH when he comes back. Like, they can't. I mean, I don't see how else they do that. So I would think, unless they want to play him at first base, but I don't think they want to do that either. So I would think the Yankees would be out on Geno. Now, there's still other teams that would be interested, the Cubs, the Tigers, there's a bunch, the Astros. There are teams that, maybe even the Rangers, that would love to try to acquire Eugenio Suarez. You're not alone. But taking the Yankees out of that mix, because they were the one who was rumored to be after him the most, I think is probably a pretty good thing. Now, it also means that if the Yankees are out, they're out because the price on Suarez was so high. Maybe it'll come down in the next 3 days. Maybe not. Jerry Dipoto did join. He did join Sirius XM Radio, and we don't get to hear as much from Jerry these days. But he was asked about the trade deadline and what his team wants to accomplish.
Yeah, this is one of our favorite times of year. When we put ourselves in good position, we've always been given the ability to go out and do the fun thing at the deadline, and that's the Rock in 22 and Randy Rosarena and friends last year. Obviously, Josh so far and we are dialed on the bullpen, and that makes us like just about everybody else who's trying to get to the finish line. But it's the bullpen, as you know, they are the late movers, and somewhere in the last day or two, and maybe in the last hour or two, you'll start seeing some of the higher impact bullpen guys go off the board, and we will be as aggressive in that area of the market as just about anybody I would imagine.
Okay, so good. I mean, like, there's nothing to disagree with there. That is when the bullpen guys tend to go, and I believe that they'll be very aggressive. And it's the one position this year at the deadline that really is out there, potentially. I mean, if the Twins are truly selling, I mean, they've got high leverage, big time impact relief arms that they can sell that are going to be around with your team for between 1.5, 2.5 more years. So between the Guardians and the Twins and a couple other teams, there are some real legit leverage arms available, not just now, but for the future as well. Now, you have to decide just how aggressive you can be for a bullpen arm. It is the one thing Jerry has sort of struggled with at the deadline, is finding the right leverage arm to help kick your bullpen up a notch. Last year, I think Jimmy Garcia was, what they went after in that regard. Unfortunately, it didn't work at all. Now, they didn't give up a tremendous amount to get him, right? That's Jonathan Clase, if I remember right, who's probably not a great fit long term. I don't know whether is he even playing with the Blue Jays this year? Is he doing anything?
He's been on the big league roster here. He's been on the big league roster at points, but he hasn't done much.
Right. And I don't know that he ever will. Maybe he will. Who knows? But you didn't give up a lot. I think you got to go get like a legitimate leverage arm that can really help you. And you trust obviously Munoz, you trust Brash, you trust Spire. Right? Like it starts to get a little dicey after that. Who's the next guy? Who's the next guy you trust after those three? I know who it is for me right now. Who's the next guy after your big three? Tell me who the next guy is you trust in a huge situation.
It's probably Bizzardo.
Bizzardo.
But I don't trust him in leverage. I like him exactly in the role he's in. Where he pitches
absolutely.
When they're down
but
two.
That's the point, right? Like right now, who's next? It's Bizzardo. That's not a great situation to be in. I do like Jackson Kowar, but he's basically not been on the roster all year. I mean, Vargas had his ups and downs. Legamina's had a lot more downs than ups at this point. I mean, like, if you're looking for help, you need another bullpen arm so that you can, as you're exactly right, Lyle, keep Bizzardo in a non-leverage role where he's been really good and he's helped you win games. But I don't need him coming in, 2 outs in the 8th in a huge spot trying to get a strikeout. I would like to minimize them. Now, you still use him at times, and when guys are, tired, et cetera, he's got a rubber arm. It sure seems like he can pitch 3 days in a row or 3 out of 4 or whatever you need him to do. But yeah, I would really like, again, Griffin Jacks has kind of been the dude that I've lusted after with the Twins. But there's others. Maybe you like Class A, maybe you like Duran. Now those guys might be a little bit more expensive. I don't know. Who else have we talked about? Bednar's another option.
Pete Fairbanks, maybe.
Yeah, Fairbanks with the Rays. Who was it with? There's somebody with the Orioles. I mean, like,
Felix Bautista.
No, there's another name with the Orioles. I'm blanking on
Yadier
it.
Cano?
Maybe. I don't know. There's guys all over. If what you want is a leverage arm, you can go find that, but you're just going to have to go do it. So I agree with that on Jerry's part. Like, that should be the next big thing, and where they're, got to keep some of their, some of that dry powder, but it shouldn't prevent them from also going out and getting another bat. And if Eugenio Suarez is too expensive, I don't know that I want to go there. Again, like, I love Geno, but in a 2-month deal, there's a lot of risk associated with Eugenio Suarez because of his ups and downs, because he's very inconsistent. So I like Willie Castro. I don't think he'd be as expensive as Geno, and I think he kind of gets you exactly what you need. But, hey, whatever. Like, you add a third baseman and another reliever to this roster, as you watch the AL implode around you, should be in pretty good shape, you would think, for a stretch run. All right. We'll talk a little bit more baseball later, and Angie Mentink's going to join me at 7:30, and I do want to play more Ichiro sound over the course of the morning. Before we do it, though, as I said, kind of a screwy schedule today. So A.J. Barner, Seahawks tight end, a guy who actually had a pretty good week without even doing anything, is going to join us next. We'll explain why. It's Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710.
Now batting for the Mariners, first baseman Josh Naylor.
The first contender to make the big move that says, We're all in.
Well, look at the Mariners striking first. How about that?
They did exactly what they needed to do at the deadline.
They do it without giving up a top 10 prospect.
It just kind of felt like, yeah, this is the right fit.
You're now looking at a 1 through 6 in your lineup that's deep. It's legitimate.
We're all over baseball's trade deadline on the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
History, it had the gold rush. Then came the oil boom, the tech boom, but right now it's the Wi-Fi boom, and Xfinity Wi-Fi is booming. Xfinity has everything you need to tap into the Wi-Fi boom with seriously powerful and seriously reliable connection. It's got 99.99% network reliability and incredibly low lag, so your streams are smoother than making a decision on what to stream. And did I mention that you can even connect to hundreds of devices so you, your kids, your parents, your poker group, and whoever else is at home can all experience the Wi-Fi boom with Xfinity. And the Wi-Fi isn't the only thing that's booming. Get the most reliable Wi-Fi and our best in-class equipment for one consistent price for 5 years guaranteed, all in. Plus, get unlimited data included and no annual contract, all with the 5-year price guarantee from Xfinity. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Restrictions apply, not available in all areas. New residential customers only. Select plans only. Xfinity Gateway with X5 Complete required for unlimited data, except in certain areas. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024. Actual speeds vary.
Upgrade your heat pump or air conditioner right now and save up to 25% during Home Comfort Alliance Warehouse Clearance Sale. All remaining 2024 heat pumps and air conditioners are now up to 25% off. Visit HomecomfortAlliance.com today.
Overburdened with a bunch of stuff you don't want anymore, but feel bad throwing it away? John here with Happy Hauler, Seattle's eco-friendly junk removal. We prioritize donating and recycling. We'll help get your items to those in need instead of going to the landfill. At Happy Hauler, we pride ourselves on responsibility, community, and sustainability. We're a family-run small business that provides junk removal, donations, and recycling. Make yourself, your community, and the planet happy. It's time to reclaim your space. HappyHauler.com, hauling with a heart.
Heritage Mechanical and Auto Repair reminds parents the fatal crash rate for teens peaks at age 19, and we lose nearly 8 kids every day. Make a family agreement to never drive under the influence of alcohol or drugs, text behind the wheel, or ride with anyone who is. Always designate a sober driver, call a parent or rideshare, and let's bring all our kids home safely. Best wishes to the class of 2025 from the entire team at Heritage Mechanical and Auto Repair. The family-owned general plumbing experts in Suquamish, proudly serving our community since 1998.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
12's Seahawks training camp, powered by Boeing, is underway at the Virginia Mason Athletic Center. Join us lakeside for a first look at your 2025 Seahawks as they put in work and gear up for a milestone 50th season. Only a few open practice remain, and they're filling up fast. Register now at Seahawks.com/training camp.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Lowe's knows big savings make a big difference, especially when you're shopping for appliances. Hurry in to get up to 30% off select major appliances. Plus, My Lowe's Rewards members get free delivery, free haul away, free installation and parts on purchases of $2,500 or more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 7/30. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Price, delivery time, and vehicle availability may vary based on order size and location. Exclusions apply. See Lowes.com/delivery for more details.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
This hour of the Brock and Salk Show is powered by Star Rentals, preferred supplier to the West's best contractors.
Give me a freaking auto! From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Heward and Matt Marcus. Sorry about just Mike.
Heward, not exactly Joe Cap there in the pocket.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
All right, we roll on Brock and Salk Show, Seattle Sports on 710. A lot of baseball to get to. At 8:30, Angie Mentink will be with me. In the meantime, though, we don't usually do interviews right at 7 o'clock, but we're making an exception for A.J. Barner. Why wouldn't we? Seahawks tight end joining me right now from training camp. Good morning, A.J. How are you?
What's up? Doing good. Most guys aren't ready to go at 7 a.m.
I know, yeah.
I got here at 6 a.m.
Really? What time do you get up for that?
No, I'm playing. I probably got up at 6 a.m.
Well, that's impressive. I got up at 4:30, and I regret it every single day. So don't get into morning radio.
Impressive.
Yeah, don't do this.
Yeah.
It's a bad gig.
At least you beat the traffic.
Yeah, that is a nice part of it. I got a bunch of like kind of generic training camp questions for you at the beginning, and then I'll try to make the interview a little bit more interesting after a couple minutes. But I gotta start with just kind of the basics, right? How's the first week of training camp been for you and for the team?
Yeah, it's going good. Still trying to just kind of get back into it, and I think we're starting to do that, me personally and as a team. In terms of how the offense is doing, I think it's been a really good start for us. You can tell that stuff's starting to slow down a bit in terms of the knowledge that we have to gain in terms of knowing the plays, but we're starting to gel really well, and I think the identity of the team on both sides of the ball is starting to mesh. Like, you really see guys competing, guys getting after it, and both sides being physical and kind of matching each other's intensity.
You mentioned the identity, and I heard you say the other day in your press conference that the tight ends are the tone setters. Mm-hmm. What is it? Can you take me through what that means? What does it mean to be a tone setter? Because I think I agree with you, but I want to hear why that is.
I just feel like, me personally and us as a position group, I think we got to bring a lot of energy to the field and kind of be on that, a little bit of play with some swag to us, a little mean, for lack of a better term, to us, and just bring that, to the defense that we're playing. Because I feel like last year, I think DK played with some of that on the outside, and at times we had that, but like, we need that all the time. And like I kind of mentioned before, with the intensity that we're playing with, the whole offense is doing that. And when you bring it to the edge, like creating a new line of scrimmage and creating a new edge, for us, we're at the forefront of that at the tight end position. So that's something that, I'm really going to make an effort to do this year. And it's kind of something that I've already, brought to the table, and just need to bring it to another level.
So when you hear, all off season that the team wants to be more physical, they want to run the ball more, they want to build everything off the run and play action, I would think that would be a tight end's dream, right? I mean, isn't that exactly what tight ends are used for?
Of course, exactly what we're used for. Pass, play action pass, the run game, getting out and drop back pass as well. And I think, that complements my game, because I feel like I can kind of do all those things, and that's the tight end that I want to be. And to be honest with you, these days you don't really get, that many of those guys. There's some in the league, but, you have guys that really just kind of do one or the other. So.
Yeah, that's what I kind of was wondering about when you talked about being tone setters. And this was an old conversation we've had on this show forever about, if you want to be a running physical football team, you can't go get a soft tight end who basically wants to be a wide receiver. You got to have tight ends that want to play that, that lean into the offensive line element of the hybrid position rather than just the receiver side of it. So do you almost see yourselves as a tight end as sort of a hybrid between a lineman and a receiver?
Absolutely. And I think my personality fits that as well. Like off the field too, I can fit in with the O-line, fit in with the receivers, and it's got to be done. Like you're really that jack of all trades that has to be kind of in both rooms. And we have guys in the tight end room, not only myself, but the other guys as well that can do that. And with this offense, I really think it's going to be shown.
What's the difference between those two rooms personality-wise?
You got the I would say the O-lineman, first girl that meets them, they fall in love with. The wide receivers, they're more so, rap music and, the fashion, a little more personality, a little more high maintenance. But you get both sides of it. And honestly, on our team, we got really great guys in all those position rooms, so it's a lot of fun.
Do you have both of those elements in your personality?
Yeah, definitely both.
First girl that you meet, you're falling in love?
Nah.
Maybe not that part of it.
Not that one. But I got the country music to me. I like, the simpler things in life, maybe that the O-line likes, but I also like, the more flashy things as well, like the receivers.
Gray Zabel seems like he likes the simpler things in life.
Yeah.
And we got to hear about him crushing Coors
Light.
Lights. And yeah, it seems to be a pretty dedicated, he's pretty dedicated to the Coors Light, huh?
I mean, hey, let's get him that partnership.
Get him that endorsement deal. He needs that. I heard you talk a little bit about it and talking here to AJ Barner, Seahawks tight end. I heard you ask questions about it the other day, but still curious. So your reaction when you find out that Noah Fant has been released, he's sort of been the top dog in that room. What was your first reaction when you heard?
Really just like a little shocked in a sense at the timing of it, I guess, coming into camp. Unfortunately, that those things happen in the league and that, guys come and go. I'm going to miss Noah. Noah was a great role model to me, a guy that came in here, did his work every day, been a vet in the league for a long time. Then the other side of that is, what an opportunity for myself and the other tight ends in the rest of the room. And I feel like there's no chance I let the organization down and let the fans down, and I just felt like, damn, like here it is. Like this is what I've really worked for, and there's no chance that I don't, make the most of it.
Well, I appreciate your honesty on that because I feel like a lot of guys would just say, no, I don't feel like it's an opportunity. It's just, business is business and work is work, but it's got to be an opportunity. You got to look at it and say, oh my gosh, like they believe in me. I have an opportunity now to try to really be the guy here.
For sure. It's like, here it is, man. And I felt like, my college career, I transferred. I went to Indiana. I went to Michigan. I was at Michigan for a year. We had Colston Loveland, who was a first-round draft pick this year and kind of got more of the notoriety. And it's like, man, like I'm peaking at the right time. Why would I not want to be at this moment in the pros? And, again, we have other guys in the room that have done a hell of a job. Elijah's playing great ball, and we're going to need him to step up. Eric Saubert, same thing. He's going to play a lot of snaps for us.
He looks like a tight end, by the way. Like just seeing him at minicamp is like, oh, that's what a tight end looks like.
Yeah, no doubt.
So I asked, I knew I was doing this interview today. So last night I was like, all right, what are we going to ask AJ Barner about? Doing a little research. And like everyone now these days, I'm turning to AI to help me with everything, right? So I asked ChatGPT, what should I ask in an interview with AJ Barner? True story, ChatGPT says, AJ Barner went to Indiana and transferred to Ohio State, and you should ask him about that.
Well, there's the disrespect still.
Right?
Like, come on. This is the year that all that changes. I'm tired of it.
So
people need to know.
You went to you're from Ohio, right?
Yeah.
But you managed to go everywhere but Ohio State. How come?
Yeah. Cleveland's not Columbus. Desmond Howard from Cleveland. Charles Woodson from, I think, the Cleveland area. But Ohio State really never came knocking at my door. Got respect for Ohio and, that program, but I had a connection a little bit with some of the staff on Michigan, and I felt like, you know, I fit in with the personality and the brand over there and the culture that they have and the tradition and blue collar, hard nosed football. And when I came out of high school, Indiana was one of the schools that had recruited me for the longest. And at the time too, they were on a good little run. We had a good little squad, and unfortunately kind of fell apart, and I had to leave. But yeah, Ohio State never really came knocking at my door, and like I said, Cleveland's not Columbus, and I think I'm a blue collar, gritty kid from Cleveland that would choose to go to Michigan.
What teams are your parents fans of? Who did you grow up rooting for?
Yeah, Brownies for sure. Guardians now, Indians, Cavs, Cleveland sports fans for sure. I had a cousin that played at Ohio State, so I was grew up a fan of Ohio State, a fan of the Big Ten as well. But my family's ride or die Seahawks now. My mom, she's the best, and would no matter what team I'm on, that's our team now. And my dad's the same. And a lot of people back home. Someone sent me a video the other day of some kid riding his bike through town with an '88 Barner jersey on. And I'm like, man, like if that ain't motivation for you, like that's awesome. And you know, a lot of the people back home, all the way back in Aurora, Ohio, are repping the Seahawks, so it's great to see.
What are your parents like? What do they do for a living, or what do they do for a living, and how do they help you get to where you are now?
Yeah, both my parents are in sales. My dad's a pretty intense dude. He played football, wrestled, but now these days he kind of lets me do my thing, and you know, doesn't really try and coach me up on football things. But definitely when I was growing up, he would, you know, get on me when need to. Was one of my wrestling coaches, and as wrestling, you know, it's you, and there's no other teammates. So when you win, it's on you. When you lose, it's on you. And I definitely learned a lot through that. My mom, she would wake me up in the morning for school, pack me a brown bag lunch, make me some breakfast, get me on the bus, not pamper me, but you know, take care of me. And you know, my mom's got swag too. She'll, you know, put on a nice outfit, get my looks from my mom. I got 3 gorgeous sisters too. And yeah, so I love my family, you know, they're the best and super supportive of me. And unfortunately, you don't get to see them as much when you're this far away from home, but I always tell people it's kind of nice too, because like, well, not that I don't get to see my family, but it's kind of nice that like I don't have people just pulling up on me like, yo, let me come stay at the house, come to the game, and then it's like now I got a game next week too, and I got to entertain.
Right.
So.
Were you a difficult kid?
No, not at all. My sisters would tell you that I'm the favorite child.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That surprises me a little bit. I don't know. It feels like you might have been a little rebellious at some point.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would definitely, you know, stick my nose in some every now and then. But I kept my head on straight too. And my high school football coach would definitely make sure that they would get on me if needed to be. I was school and my parents were like, you know, you might get your ass beat every now and then, or yelled at, or whatever the case may be.
Hey, so last thing here for you. I'm curious what you would want your coaches to say about you. If you know, because they get asked about everybody on the team, and I actually do have some sound from Coach asked about you the other day. But like, is there something you want them to know about you? Want them to say about you?
I mean, I'm a Hawk, man. I'm a Hawk. Whatever the culture is that we got here. Well, I know the culture it is, and that's me. And I feel like I love being here. And what I said about, you know, the opportunity, like I'm really going to take it and run with it. And same with the rest of the guys. And I love being here, and I want to go show that. So.
That's kind of what he said. Here was Mike McDonald talking about you just the other day.
First thing that comes to mind is his mentality and his approach every day. Not just the tight end position, but offensively and as a team. You know, he's a great representative of what we're trying to create and how to play, how to approach every day. So that really excites us. But we believe in AJ's goal is to be a top overall tight end in the league and be able to do all the things that we're going to ask him to do, where you know you don't have to handicap how you game plan him and things like that. So that's his goal, and he's working his tail off out there.
I mean, that's like almost exactly what you hoped he would say.
For sure. And that's what I feel like they've kind of, you know, helped me develop into that, and I've kind of made my expectations clear since I've been here. And you know, there's plenty left for us to do as a team, but and myself to do as an individual, but we're going to get it done this year, and I can't wait to do it.
All right. Well, I know you got to go. We'll give you. We'll give you. What are you off to now? Is this workout time? Meeting time? What do you have now?
Meetings.
Meetings.
Quick meetings, and then workout.
All right. Meetings, workout, and then
the pads.
and then pads today. You gonna get after it?
Come on.
All right. We'll see you out there. We appreciate it. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me.
Yes, sir.
All right,
Good
there you
seeing
go. There you go. There's A.J. Barner, Seahawks tight end, a guy who is finding a way to fit in with both the linemen and with the wide receivers. What do you think, Maura? What do we think?
I like his vibes. You know,
he definitely has a lot of vibes.
He's got some confidence, but I feel like he's a hard worker and backs it up. You know, and I think there's a lot of people. I heard Dave Wyman raving the other day that are excited to see what he could do this year with a bigger role.
Well, and I think for good reason. So, all right, let's see. We're a little funky on time. How do we want to do this? Should we do need to know now? Should we just get right into it and just go right to need to know? Give Lyle a moment to kind of pull that up. And then, I think then we'll come back, do something short. Then I think that's probably the best way to do this, right? Then we'll do a Blue 88 with Bump at 7:45. Yeah, I like this. This gives me some time to talk some Mariners here in a few minutes as well, which I do want to do in this hour. So as soon as Lyle's ready, and this is not on Lyle because we're sort of changing things on the fly. We're going to give him a second to pull that up, and then we'll dig into Need to Know.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Yeah, we thought we were going to be late with Need to Know, but we're actually probably closer to on time than we often are. Pretty good. Mariners over the weekend split on the road. Look, that's not the end of the world. You got to at least kind of try to stay 500 on the road, but you're out there adding Josh Naylor. You're in a dogfight for both the division and for the wild card. You're playing an Angels team. I'm not saying they've given up, but they're not close to being the team that they were even earlier this year. They got some injury issues. Soler's going on the IL. Like, you'd really like to take 3 out of 4, and it was right there. You win game 1, you lose game 2 in a heartbreak. You win game 3 as the home run barrage continues. And then, unfortunately, yesterday, this was about the only offense you could muster.
Hendricks winds, deals. Swung on. That is driven center field. Adele is back. He's at the track. He's looking up, and it is gone. Cal Raleigh has done it again. Number 41. He is tied for 4th all time for catcher home runs in a season. He continues to climb the ladder of history.
41. It's funny. I was texting with you guys on, Friday? And looking at Cal's numbers since the All-Star break, just something to monitor. Wasn't concerned necessarily, but he was hitting about 200 with 1 home run at that point. I think that was the only extra base hit. And you're like, all right, let's just sort of monitor this. Is he starting to get tired? And then bang, he comes up with 2 more home runs in the next 2 days. It's just remarkable what he's done, and every time it looks like maybe he might be getting tired, it might be wearing off, the spell or whatever, he gets himself right back locked in and crushes 2 more home runs. And in the meantime, maybe Julio's starting to show some of that as well. He hit 4 home runs in the 4-game series over the course of 3 games. That's a huge deal. Dan Wilson pretty happy with where Julio's at.
I think his at-bats have been really good. I think he's seeing the ball well. He's not chasing. He's waiting on pitches. He's waiting to get his pitch. And I think that at-bat where he hit the homer, can't remember the count, but he'd seen quite a few pitches. Got one. I think it was a 3-1 count. Got a pitch up that he was ready to drive. And, he's just showing good patience, waiting to get his pitch. And he is so dangerous. Continues to show that.
Yeah, and when Julio really starts to turn it up, it does make this team a lot better, especially when you get a Randy Arozarena hot, and he hit another home run over the weekend. Josh Naylor looked like the pro hitter he's supposed to be. Yeah, it's a pretty good combo. Now the question is, can you put all the pieces together at the same time? Because unfortunately, Logan Gilbert continues to look mortal. J.P. Crawford has just gone into a huge slump. So, getting enough guys going in the right direction at the same time, rather than some of the inconsistency, has seemed to be the biggest problem for this team this year. Best news, probably that Houston swept it home by the A's. The deficit's still just 4 in the West as Seattle now heads to Sacramento to take on the A's. They also fall into a tie, though, for the 3rd wildcard spot with Texas. They are 3 up on Tampa.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Yeah, huge congrats to Ichiro as he was enshrined into the Hall of Fame this weekend, along with both CC Sabathia or at least what's left of him, and Billy Wagner. Loved hearing him speak. The whole interview, or the whole speech, was great. In English, you got to see the importance, the playful side, the thoughtful side, really just everything that makes Ichiro himself.
Beyond the regular season, I had a serious routine in the off-season too. When I showed up at the camp each spring, my arm was already in shape, waiting for Mariners broadcaster Rick Ritz to say, "Holy smoke! A laser beam strike from Ichiro!"
So, holy smokes, a Rick Ritz thing, but that sort of sounds like a Niehaus, no? A little bit. Maybe he's combining them into one person. Heck, he didn't know the Marlins existed until they signed him. So Ichiro is the best, man. He really is. God, I could spend a whole segment on just this quote. But here is Ichiro talking about the best thing you could be as a teammate and the best thing you can do for your team.
I have been asked, what's the best thing you can do for your team? My answer is taking responsibility for yourself. Being responsible for yourself means answering to yourself. When you go home at night and wonder why you didn't get a hit or you didn't make a catch, the honest answer is not because a great pitcher beat you or a tough sun was in your eyes. It's because there was something you could have done better. By taking responsibility for yourself, you support your teammates, and you don't cheat the fans.
It's funny. I wish Brock was in today because I want to play him that sound tomorrow. You would have to be a really, really long time Brock and Salk listener to remember this. But there was a game, God, I forget where it was. Maybe at Yankee Stadium, Fenway, one or the other, where Ichiro dropped a fly ball because it was in the sun. And I was really hard on him the next day and said, look, he's a great player and a great defensive player, so I think he gets held to a higher standard. Yeah, it's a hit because the sun and this and that, and he's not making any excuses, but you need your Ichiros, your Gold Glove right fielder at that time to make that play, and he didn't. And it was interesting to hear him even say the same thing yesterday. Yeah, the ball's in your sun's in your eyes, tough. Like, you got to do what you got to do in order to make the play. I thought he was really outstanding yesterday.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Well, as you heard from A.J. Barner just a few minutes ago, the Seahawks are putting the pads on for the first time today in practice, which is awesome. It's time. That usually should be good news for the defense. Here's Mike McDonald on that unit.
We didn't start great today, and so they had to hear about it from the coaches, and the vets did a good job of kind of kicking them back into gear, and those are the things that we're trying to take it to the next level. Let's do it every rep, all the time. When we're catching, we're off base, hey, let's recalibrate, get the standard back to where we need it to be. So, again, great day, but there's stuff that's sticking in the back of your mind of, okay, this is some areas where we need to look at.
I love how he's just never fully satisfied with anything. I think it's great. On the other side of the ball, one of the little stories at camp has been Jalen Milroe. Certainly, if you're listening to Hawk Blogger stuff, I mean, he's been all over the Milroe stuff. Here is the coach on where Milroe has gotten better.
Well, confidence. You see a decisiveness in his game. Eyes are in the right spot more consistently. He could probably go into detail. It just seems to me like it's a quicker delivery. The footwork is starting to kind of match the routes and the concepts. Still he's got a whole career ahead of him to improve, but excited to see him right now. I mean, he's doing a good job.
There's like a little formula to all the Mike McDonald answers, right? Where it's like, yeah, he's doing great. He's doing X, Y, and Z really well. Now, he's still got problems with, A, B, and C. And, it's a long career ahead of him. But we're really happy, and everything's going really well. Love it. I love it. I think that's the way to be. That's everything you need to know. 1:15 every hour here on the Brock and Salk Show. All right, let's see. So Michael Bumpus is going to step in for Brock and do Blue 88 coming up in about 20 minutes. So excited to chat with Bump. Maura was at practice, so she's got takeaways, which we'll get to at 8 o'clock. Well, she'll have to go quick because she's got way too many takeaways for that small amount of time. But that's what we're going to do. And then Angie Mentink, I was texting with Angie a little bit after the game on Friday night, Saturday night. Which game did they lose? Friday night? I think it was after Friday night's game. And I just love her perspective on the team and a lot of the baseball details of it. So we'll chat with Angie at 8:30 and Brady Henderson a little bit later. A lot of good stuff to come. All right, we're 3 days away from the trade deadline. Mariners have already made a big strike. And there is an argument out there that Lyle and I were kind of discussing here just a few minutes ago in the break that I can't commit to this. Not at all. There's too many other important things to do, and I just can't commit to this line of thinking. So we'll explain next on Brock and Salk.
Seahawks training camp is underway.
That is music to the ears.
And nobody gives you more insider access than the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Coach McDonald sitting down with us right now. This thing on and ready for you.
Watch how the Seahawks roster comes together.
Seattle Sports training camp coverage is presented by the Landing in Renton.
Seahawks training camp on Seattle Sports on 710, the Seattle Sports app, and the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
When the heat's in 11,
cool AC would be heaven.
Dayandnight.net. Some AC you'll be loving.
When your house is an oven.
Dayandnight.net.
Northwest summers are beautiful, but there's always a long, hot stretch that makes everyone say, man, AC sure would be nice. Well, except for that one annoying friend who won't stop talking about how great his AC is. Hi, I'm Bruce with Day and Night Plumbing and Heating. Don't sweat through another summer. Have Day and Night keep your house cool and comfortable by installing a high-efficiency AC or heat pump. Or if you have an existing system, we'll come and service it. Make sure it's running efficiently and ready to cool when you need it.
When the summer is cooking,
we're the place to be looking.
Dayandnight.net. Stay cool this summer with Day and Night. Call now to get 10% off an air conditioner or heat pump. Plus, no payments or interest for a year OAC. Restrictions apply. Call for details. Dayandnight.net.
Toyota of Renton and Toyota of Kirkland have that new car you've been looking for. With the power of choice, drive the sleek hybrid Camry leasing as low as $299 a month, the dependable Corolla, or the electric Prius leasing at just $309 a month. If you're headed to the ballpark or cruising I-5 from the north or the south, visit Toyota of Renton or Kirkland or shop online at toyotaofrenton.com and toyotaofkirkland.com. Offers valid through August 4th, 2025. Excludes taxes, license, and negotiable $200 dealer documentation fee. See dealership for details.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com. Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com, sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-486-9600. That's 800-486-9600.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Rick Riz here, and it's the final month to submit your nomination for Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington's Improve Your Play program. Pella's owners are donating $5,000 to 2 local youth sports organizations. Many local teams are in need of new equipment, field improvements, or uniforms. If you know a team who could use funding, nominate them at seattlesports.com/play. Join Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington and help our local youth thrive. Go to seattlesports.com/play to nominate a team in need right now.
You've heard the saying, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Since 1926, my family's been helping local businesses make great first, second, and long-term impressions. We know how to make your company look good with quality uniforms, logoed apparel, floor mats, linens, and more. If you're paying for linen service or doing it yourself, let's have the conversation. The information and quote are free, but the savings and service can really add up. Visit suplinen.com. Superior Linen Service. It's what we do.
It's time for your summer road trip service at Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton. Before you hit the road, stop by and get your vehicle road trip ready with their incredible service departments, no appointment necessary. Now through July 31st, you can receive $100 off when purchasing 4 eligible tires. Whether you're in the north or the south, their expert technicians have you covered. Visit Toyota of Renton and Toyota of Kirkland today for your summer road trip service and drive into adventure with confidence. Offers valid through July 31st, 2025. Restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Summer is in full swing, and T-Mobile Park is the hottest spot in Seattle. Don't miss out on special events like the next Mariners Fireworks Night this Friday, presented by T-Mobile. Cal Raleigh and the crew are taking on the division rival Rangers at 7:10, and after the final out, we'll be lighting up the sky with an epic post-game show.
Holy smokes, what a firecracker! Upper deck number 34 for the big number.
Go to mariners.com/fireworks to lock in your seats today.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right, we'll do Blue 88 in 15 minutes with Michael Bumpus today, so we'll get back to some football conversation as the pads come on for the first time at practice today. Baseball, we're 3 days away, of course, from the trade deadline. Mariners, little up, little down. Again, inconsistent seems to be the word for the Mariners. I think maybe, adding to the team, you're hoping that's enough to get it done, and Josh Naylor's a part of that. I think there's probably a personality element with Naylor that's an interesting one as well. As we've gone back and forth trying to figure out who he is, right? Remember we talked about him being the guy that was so animated when he was in Cleveland versus the guy who did not have that same, vibe when we saw him walk off the Mariners when he was with the Diamondbacks. Who is Josh Naylor? And, I got some sound from him, right? I mean, here's what he thought when he found out he was being traded to the Mariners.
A little bit shocked at first, but then excitement hit right away. Joining a great team, great fan base, and a great ballpark to play at. I'm really excited to and look forward to just kind of being a part of it.
I'll ask Angie about him at 8:30, and maybe she's gotten to meet him or get to know him early. But there's an old baseball term, and if you got kids in the car, I'm sorry, cover their ears here for just a moment. And generally, we try to keep this program as squeaky clean as possible, but this is a specific baseball term. There have been articles written about this term, and there are just guys in baseball who have what's called the red ass. And there's no other way to say it. I'm sorry, I can't bleep it out. There's no other way for me to do this. That's the term. I'll only say it once. I promise. But that's the term. And it stands for, in baseball, Lyle, you've heard the term obviously a million times, right? It's for guys that are just kind of grumpy. They're just grumpy Gus. Like, don't ask them about anything because they'll turn on you and give you a little bit of the red ass. Like, that's just what it is. That's what it's called. And sometimes you need a little of that on your team. Who was the last Mariner who had it? Who's the last Mariner? And I'm not going to include Danny Valencia because he was just sort of a pain in the butt. Everybody just didn't like him. Same with Milton Bradley. Like those guys are in a different category. This is generally said about, guys who are good and good teammates, and everybody really likes them. Robbie Ray maybe had a little of it. Robbie Ray might be an answer. I think at times Mitch Garver can, but I don't know whether, he's had the career here that has allowed that to be a leadership thing. I don't know. Josh Naylor's got some of that, and he's a really good player to boot. Kind of curious to see how that edge ends up affecting the rest of this team. Cal's not really as edgy as Cal can be. He doesn't really. That's not him. He's not grumpy like that. Obviously Julio's not like that. Randy's not like that. Robles, when he's been here, is not like that. Luke, like that's just not JP. JP a little, but not with his teammates. His has been more with the media. So I don't know. Jesse Winker doesn't count. Jesse Winker is just sort of disliked. Randy Johnson had it in spades. I mean, Randy Johnson might be as good an example. Thanks for some of the texts coming in. Randy Johnson's probably the best example ever. Jeffrey Leonard, God, that's going back a ways. But yeah, I'm curious to see what that element of a personality and a guy who's going to hit cleanup for you most days. I'm curious to see what that does to this team. The other question now is, all right, what next? And we were just discussing the need for leverage arms and, another bat, third base, obviously being a possibility. The other thing sort of hanging out there, and Lyle, I know you guys got into this on the Marine Layer, and TJ's been sort of advocating for it, and John Morosi, we've heard say this, is this idea of going after another starting pitcher. And I'm struggling with that one. Look, if there's a depth starter and you feel like you need somebody else to make a couple starts along the way, I'm not going to argue about it. But the idea of going hard after a starter, first of all, there aren't that many. Seth Lugo was one. He's off the board as he signs a deal yesterday to stay in Kansas City for a couple more years. I mean, Merrill Kelly is sort of the best out there, right? Maybe Zach Gallen, but it's probably Merrill Kelly at this point, right?
I'd probably say it's Dylan Cease, although he hasn't had a great year either.
All right.
And I don't know if he gets traded.
So it's one of those three guys, probably what you're talking about in terms of the best, starting pitching arm available. And it's not that none of those guys excite me, although none of those guys particularly excite me. But do I want, or Joe Ryan, I guess would be the other one, but he's going to be a multi-year guy. I don't want them to go acquire a multi-year guy. You've got so many good young pitchers. I don't want to see them give a lot up from their farm system to go acquire more starting pitching. It kind of comes down to this for me. If Logan Gilbert, George Kirby, Luis Castillo, Brian Wu, and whoever the fifth starter is aren't good enough, then you're not good enough. That's the way this team was built. I'm not saying you can't augment, but if Logan Gilbert doesn't become Logan Gilbert again here before the end of the year, then you're not the Mariners. You're not a World Series team. You're not the team that you want to be. I don't want to see resources thrown at trying to mend a fence for Logan Gilbert or for George Kirby or for that's who you are. That's your personality. That's the thing that gives you the credibility. If you want to add around it, great. If you want to add relief pitching to shorten the game, I'm 100% all in. And I know that there are times to try to strengthen your strength, but I don't think this is one of them just because of the resources you'd have to give up to make it happen. At the end of the day, you need Logan Gilbert to be great. That's how you win this year.
So you're basically reiterating everything I said to TJ yesterday, and I basically told TJ he was wasting his time because I don't think the Mariners ultimately do it. But let me play devil's advocate for him here and basically try and speak for him, which is, are you okay just living with being who you are in the sense of if you see that this is a middling rotation, because it has been all year by the numbers, you don't go out and acquire a starter. Logan, Kirby, Bryce Miller when he comes back, etc. Don't turn this thing around. Are you just okay living with it if you miss the playoffs?
I have to.
Again?
Yeah, I'd have to live with it. Because I would rather bank on Logan Gilbert, George Kirby, et cetera, getting it together than on giving up more of my resources in the minor leagues to go bring somebody else in. Now, again, if there's a back-end starter, somebody that's kind of hanging out that doesn't cost a lot, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that's not a good idea. I don't know what player that is. I mean, maybe at this point, Zach Gallen doesn't cost you that much, and he's a guy who can come in and take some starts for Logan Evans down the stretch. Okay, fine. That's fine. But if the thing you need is for Logan Gilbert to become Logan Gilbert again, the thing you need is for George Kirby to be consistent. The thing you need is for Luis Castillo to be consistent. That's how this team is built. I'm not looking to rebuild the foundation of the team at the deadline. I'm looking to add and make it better and add cabinets and add, a porch outside and all the things that make your house more valuable. But I'm not looking to rock the foundation. Like that's what your team is.
Would you be rocking the foundation even for just 2 months and then you figure it out after that? Because in a year where
Depends what I got to give up, man. It's all on what I get. Again, if I don't have to give much up, sure. But I'm not giving up a lot to make that happen. Not when I have other needs. Not when I'd like to add in the, would I rather have Merrill Kelly or Griffin Jacks? I'd rather have Griffin Jacks.
Well, this isn't really about Merrill Kelly. I would like.
Who is it about?
Punch a little higher than that. Again, the name I'm going to circle is Dylan Cease, and I know he hasn't been great, but
if he hasn't been great, isn't that just essentially acquiring one of the guys you've already got, who's a really good pitcher, who's not having a great year?
I mean, his stuff is as good, if not better, than
So
anybody in
is
this
Logan Gilbert's.
rotation, and he's gotten a little unlucky this year. And you bank on the idea that he would come into Seattle and give him a real uptick in production and hope he gets back to Cy Young Dylan Cease. I don't know. Like in a year where again, like you really need
How many
to make
is
the
he
playoffs.
at the end of is he a rental?
He is. In a year where you really need to make the playoffs and the rotation here entering August has been mid, to put it frankly, like, do you have to sit there and say, we've got to make some sort of upgrade for the next 2 months?
I don't know. That'd be real hard for me to buy into. All right, we got to take a quick break. We'll come back here because I want to do Blue 88 and make sure we have enough time for Bump. And then we got Maura's observations from practice on Saturday. Angie Mentink, we can ask her about this as well. Stick around. Still a lot to do today. It's Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710 and seattlesports.com.
Seahawks training camp is underway.
That is music to the ears.
And nobody gives you more insider access than the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Coach McDonald sitting down with us right now. This thing on and ready for you.
Watch how the Seahawks roster comes together.
Seattle Sports training camp coverage is presented by the Landing in Renton.
Seahawks training camp on Seattle Sports on 710, the Seattle Sports app, and the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
Hey, Mike Salk here, and we are now really in the heart of summer. Heck, it's almost August, so you know what's going on, right? You got all the weekend trips, the vacations, your kids are going to camps, you're driving them around. It's busy, so maybe you think too busy to start a diet, workout, weight loss plan, etc. It's not. Don't let that be an excuse, because that's all it is. Eastside Weight Loss Clinic would make it so easy for you. You're not going to feel like you're adding something to your life. Instead, you're subtracting a ton of weight. I did the plan. I lost 35 pounds. I ran into Ryan Roland Smith this weekend. He did the plan. He lost 30 pounds. Looks great. Almost didn't recognize him as I walked by him. Listener, we had text in recently, said they were down 42 pounds and they got more to go as well. Summer is a great time to get this done. You'll have more energy. You won't feel hungry. And the food all tastes really good. Great recipes. Food you buy at the grocery store. Dr. Coogan's worked with over 4,000 people here locally to deliver successful results. So be the next one. Schedule that 15-minute consultation with Eastside Weight Loss Clinic by going to eastsideweightlossclinic.com. Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Seattle Sports is giving you a shot at 4 tickets to see the Seahawks host the Raiders August 7th. Just open the Seattle Sports app, tap the Win tab in the bottom right corner, and enter. You can enter once per day, so the more you enter, the better your chances. Enter daily from July 23rd through 28th. Full details and rules at seattlesports.com/win. Only from the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports. The home of the Mariners.
Left off to center. It is on its way. Julio, 2-run home run.
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
When businesses thrive, communities score. That's why Bank of America is the official bank of FIFA World Cup here in Seattle. And our more than 95 local business specialists are ready to help your business win. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Want to cut your home energy bills, breathe cleaner air, and improve comfort? The answer, AeroSeal from Home Comfort Alliance. This advanced process seals leaks in your ductwork, improving efficiency and air quality. Normally $2,500. Right now, for PSC customers, get AeroSeal for as little as $99 when they install a furnace or heat pump. Plus, save up to 25% on remaining 2024 heat pumps and air conditioners from Home Comfort Alliance. Visit homecomfortalliance.com today.
Ken's Pool and Patio reminds parents swimming is a healthy outlet for kids if we remember to put safety first. Make sure your children are visible at all times by a lifeguard or responsible adult. Sign them up for swimming lessons and provide a flotation device for added safety. Always check swimming conditions in advance and remind your kids to never swim alone. Best wishes to all our kids from the entire team at Ken's Pool and Patio, your family-owned full-service pool company, proudly serving you for over 50 years. Online at kenspool.com.
Seahawks Football Fest is back at Lumen Field, Saturday, August 2nd at 6 p.m. Kick off your weekend with this exclusive practice in an evening full of football, family, and fun. Meet Seahawks legends, Seahawks dancers, and Blitz. Check out the gaming zone, face painters, live music, and DJ, and don't miss the autographed football toss. There's entertainment for all ages. Get an inside look at your 2025 Seattle Seahawks at Football Fest. Get your tickets at Seahawks.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Let's see. A lot of text messages here. Guys, I'm in the Philly market, and the morning crew here is talking up Suarez to the Phillies and then offloading Bohm. Yeah, I'm sure they are. And that could happen. I really would hope that the Mariners are not interested in Alec Bohm. That's not the kind of upgrade I would want, and I think that there's a legitimate personality concern about adding that guy to your team at this stage. So that is not one that I would be interested in. 253, if Dylan Cease can't win with the Padres offense, what makes you think he'll win with the Mariners offense behind him? I think it's a fair question. Like, why would the Padres are going to sell on Dylan Cease?
It's just out there a little bit.
I know it is. I've seen it out there. It just, if they're in a go-for-it mode and they're selling, it makes it a little hard for me to imagine. All right, let's do some Blue 88. We got Michael Bumpus going to join us, and let's talk some football.
This is Brock and Salk's Blue 88.
Blue 88! Blue 88!
We take you to the field as Brock Ewart breaks down 3 football questions as only he can.
Now here's your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
All right, well, in for Brock today, Michael Bumpus of the acclaimed Bump and Stacy show, not to mention Seahawks pre and post and halftime. Bump, what's going on? Good morning.
What's up? Good morning. How you doing?
We're doing good. Let's jump into this. Question number one. Seahawks still have just over a month and a half to go before the season actually starts. What position would you think they'd be most likely to add between now and then?
I'm looking at the corner position because I always feel like you can never have enough depth at that spot. You sign Griffin, of course. You got Job over there. You got Reef Willen as well. But I think it's about competition. And I'm looking at the defensive side, but I'm going to cheat, Mike. I'm going to give you two. I'm looking at the offensive side of the ball as well. Obviously, a veteran offensive lineman. There's a couple out there. Just looking to add depth. I think that they have their guys. I think they like who they like. I think they're going to give them opportunities to grow and develop. But at the end of the day, you know how this goes. By week, 3, 4, 5, somebody's going to go down. Maybe it's just a small injury. Maybe it's a big one. But you got to have depth. And for some reason, the corner position and offensive lineman position always get banged up a bit. Everyone does. This is football, right? But if I am the Seahawks, I'm looking at the O-line, just add some depth. I think they have their guys, right? We've been at training camp the last, few days, and we know who they like. I can't say anything, Mike, because, the Seahawks maybe signed a contract to sign my life away. If I mention anything about the depth chart, I'm going to be in trouble. So I can't tell you too much. But we know who they like over there. But I still think they need depth at the offensive line and at the corner spot. Add some more competition to get after it.
All right, question number 2. Noah Fant released early last week, which, again, I view as sort of a positive addition by subtraction. But who benefits most on this roster from Noah Fant's release? All right. We've lost Bump. That question was too hard for him.
Oh, you got me?
There we go. Now we got you.
There we go. All right. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
We got to look at the youngster, Arroyo, right? He's the guy they drafted for a reason. He's dynamic. But everyone in that room is going to benefit. But A.J. Barner's been here the longest, right? He has a relationship with the coaches. I know it's only his second year, but he has a bit more trust. And trust goes a long way in football, Mike. I've seen guys who weren't as talented as the next guy, but because the coaches can trust him, he got more playing time. So I think initially you got to look at A.J. Barner and say, all right, this is your chance. You go ahead and get it. But when you're trying to fight off a young man like Arroyo, who has all the tools that he brings to the table, inside, outside, attached to the line of scrimmage, I said he's going to be a gadget player for these dudes. You got to assume that he will benefit, but it has to be A.J. Barner. He's the quote-unquote veteran in that room right now if he exit out Saubert. But it's A.J. Barner, man. I believe in him. I think he can do everything you want a tight end to do, but I think that Arroyo's ceiling is a bit higher than his.
All right, question number 3. Every year we see it. There is a preseason star that the fans all want on the roster. Maybe makes it, maybe not. Who will be this year's preseason star that jumps out to the fans?
You know what, I think it's been the same the last 2 years, honestly, because I've been to training camp and I'm watching the way that the fans react to this young man when he jogs out to the practice field. I'm watching or listening to the way they react when he makes a play. And it's Jake Bobo. There's something about Jake Bobo. He got that Gardner Minshew type feel when it comes to the way the fans love him. And he's in a battle too, man. Cody White is making plays. You got Derek Young out there. You draft White. You got Horton as well. It's going to be tough for him, but because he's a special teams type of guy, he can do some things, man. There's something about Jake Bobo that the fans kind of connect with. It's his personality, it's his style, it's the way that he plays the game, how tough he plays. He's blue collar, man, and what we know about the Northwest, especially where I'm at out here in Monroe, we love some blue collar type of guys. So same guy, man. 3 years in a row now? I'm looking at Jake Bobo, and he's got something special going on. It's going to be tough, though. It's not going to be easy for him, but Jake Bobo.
Good stuff. That is Michael Bumpus today with Blue 88. Pads come on today, Bump. I'm getting out there. I was trying to go last week and ended up having phone issues. So today is my day. I'm coming out for padded practice. What are we looking for? Are we going to find a little one-on-one pass rush drill?
Man, yeah, it's all about the bigs. I think, during minicamp and OTAs, you can kind of see what's going on the outside. So that's the easiest positions to evaluate when the pads aren't on. I'm looking at the bigs, man. Can Abe Lucas take a step forward? What about Cross and, of course, Zabel? Sundell has been getting some reps. Oluwatimi has been leading the charge. So, I'm looking at the bigs, man. I'm going to be focused. Leave the little guys alone. I'm done with you guys for the next few days. I'm going down with the 300-pounders and seeing what they're doing over there.
Awesome stuff. Bump, I'll see you down there. Thank you again. We appreciate it. And Bump and Stacy, of course, coming up at 10 o'clock this morning. Thanks, man.
All right, Salk, see you, man.
All right, there you go. There is Michael Bumpus, and yes, they'll get going. Yeah, I'm kind of with the 206, just, knowing the high school in Boston that Jake Bobo went to. Blue collar, he plays blue collar. Belmont Hill kids are not blue collar. Let's tone it down. 206 says seems like a talented rich kid. I don't think it's that. I mean, he plays a blue collar style, but blue collar, I don't know. I think we might I might argue a little bit there. All right, Maura, I want to make sure I give you time. Maura was at practice Saturday. She's got like 12 takeaways and only 8 or 9 minutes to get them all in. So we're going to buzz through as many of those as possible next on Brock and Salk.
Now batting for the Mariners, first baseman Josh Naylor.
The first contender to make the big move that says, we're all in.
Well, look at the Mariners striking first. How about that?
They did exactly what they needed to do at the deadline.
They do it without giving up a top 10 prospect.
It just kind of felt like, this is the right fit.
You're now looking at a 1 through 6 in your lineup that's deep. It's legitimate.
We're all over baseball's trade deadline on the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and, of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with AutoPay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Lowe's knows big savings make a big difference, especially when you're shopping for appliances. Hurry in to get up to 30% off select major appliances. Plus, My Lowe's Rewards members get free delivery, free haul away, free installation and parts on purchases of $2,500 or more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 7/30. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Price, delivery time, and vehicle availability may vary based on order size and location. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com/delivery for more details.
Now is the perfect time to start on your next success. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start August 13th. An accredited state university, University of Maryland Global Campus offers online and hybrid courses. Plus, you can earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and work experience, or transfer up to 12 credits towards a master's. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chef.
History, it had the gold rush. Then came the oil boom, the tech boom, but right now it's the Wi-Fi boom, and Xfinity Wi-Fi is booming. Xfinity has everything you need to tap into the Wi-Fi boom with seriously powerful and seriously reliable connection. It's got 99.99% network reliability and incredibly low lag, so your streams are smoother than making a decision on what to stream. And did I mention that you can even connect to hundreds of devices so you, your kids, your parents, your poker group, and whoever else is at home can all experience the Wi-Fi boom with Xfinity. And the Wi-Fi isn't the only thing that's booming. Get the most reliable Wi-Fi and our best in-class equipment for one consistent price for 5 years guaranteed all in. Plus, get unlimited data included and no annual contract, all with the 5-year price guarantee from Xfinity. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Restrictions apply, not available in all areas. New residential customers only. Select plans only. Xfinity Gateway with X5 Complete required for unlimited data except in certain areas. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024. Actual speeds vary.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Get in the freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Ewert is my hero.
Jay Buhner just punched me in the kidney.
We're going to accuse you of management.
Doesn't really work that way, Sherm. This is a show that has my name on it.
It kind of does, though.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Ewert and Mike Salk.
All right, baseball talk with the great Angie Mentink in 30 minutes. Maura went to practice Saturday. We're going to go out there together today and see what we see as the pads come on. Maura, you have 8 takeaways on this sheet of paper. We got about 8 minutes for them, so you got 1 minute per. Give me some takeaways of what you saw at practice.
Okay, that was definitely the most energy I've felt so far. There was a pretty good crowd on the berm. The players and coaches seemed fired up, especially during a drill where the running backs were going up against some defensive players while the quarterbacks were practicing with some others. And every time a running back broke a run, like coaches and players were like running out onto the field and screaming and jumping up and down. I also saw like a little dance party with the DBs when I first got there.
Oh. It's good to know.
Yeah, I tried to get out my camera. I only caught the end of it because there were some good moves going on.
I always think that it's that the fights in training camp always come because the running backs keep running.
Yes.
Like if I was a defensive back, I'd be like, dude, you're down. Stop freaking running. And then if you're an offensive player, you're like, yeah, you got to finish the play or else it's like, I just think that if I were a defensive player, I would get into a fight over that. Like, you're down. I'm not allowed to hit you. Stop running. That would piss me off. Sorry.
And then there was some fire to the one-on-one drills, and I think I even heard a coach kind of yelling at the lineman for not letting him finish getting out the cadence before they started doing it themselves. So it was fun, and I know you always look forward to those. I saw everybody migrating, and I didn't quite know what was going on. Then I was like, oh, one-on-ones, dang it. And I was trying to run over there.
And this isn't the full deal because they didn't have pads on yet, right?
No, so they were just kind of locking up.
What'd you see there, though?
So apparently Gray Zabel got put on his butt by Jaron Reed Friday. But when I was there on Saturday, he won his matchup with Brandon Peely and twice, I think. He understandably lost one to Leonard Williams, but then they started doing pairs of 2. And Charles Cross and Gray Zabel teamed up against Derek Hall and Leonard Williams, and they held their own. I think they won that one.
Good.
So it was good to see. Charles Cross had a nice rep against Derek Hall, and I think Abe Lucas got the better of Mafe. So for everyone that's concerned about the O-line, it's, like you said, not in pads, but nice to see that they're progressing well. I did see Anthony Bradford end up on his behind in those, but, it's one drill. I did see Abe Lucas was being used kind of as the model for tackle drills.
What does that mean?
It seemed like every time the coach was setting up a new thing he wanted them to do, he was having Abe Lucas do it first and then saying, okay, now everybody join in. And that just kind of caught me as wow, what a difference this year to have him in camp healthy as opposed to last year where you didn't even know when he was going to be able to return and he was just kind of having to watch off to the side. I think especially on O-line because we hear how important continuity is all the time and in learning a new offense.
Yeah, I mean, he was sort of the forgotten guy in that, right? And each time I complain about the offensive line, Brock and Nemhauser, everybody kind of reminds, well, Abe Lucas is back, and it's a different, and they're right. They are right about that. Abe Lucas is a difference maker when he's healthy, and the fact that he starts the year in that capacity is probably a really good thing. You're right. It's somebody that I will make sure to get eyes on today because he's an impressive dude. I mean, when you see Abe out there, even with all the other big-time offensive linemen, he's a big dude. He is a big physical mountain of a man.
I still remember when we went to see rookie minicamp his rookie year, and you were like, whoa.
Right. Forget Charles Cross. Who's that guy? Yeah, no, he stands out. So, yes, I'll make sure to go look for him today.
All right. I also I liked seeing Reek Woolen hanging out with Julian Love a lot. Woolen made ESPN's list of people under the most pressure this season. That list they put out last week.
I think that's a fair description of him, don't you think?
Yeah, it's kind of
like, who are
I
you,
think
man?
Everyone knows how talented he is, but I think this is the year to kind of show that his rookie season wasn't a fluke, and that he can do what the coaches want him to do, which I think is be a little more physical. So I just think him hanging around Julian Love, when we had him on last week, we were getting so many texts that like he sounds like a coach. He's such a seasoned veteran. And, he's a guy that came over after not being a starter for the Giants. They took a chance on him, and he's just ran with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I like seeing those two together because I think it's probably good for Reek in a year that he's got a lot to prove.
I think that's well said again. And I would agree with whoever wrote that he's under the most pressure. Certainly on this team. I mean, like he's the guy that, looked like a rookie of the year, looked like he was going to be, just a standard bearer in the secondary for the next 4 or 5 years. And whether it's lack of physicality or a little bit of injury issues or just not continuing to live up to that role and that high standard that he set for himself as a rookie. Yeah, I tend to agree with that. And anything they can do to get the real Reek Woolen is a really big benefit for this football team.
And along those same lines, I learned kind of through the press conferences this weekend that DeMarcus Lawrence and Derek Hall have sparked a special relationship. They kept referring to it as a little brother kind of thing, but they were almost hinting at like the little brother that DeMarcus Lawrence didn't want. Like they kind of, I think they make fun, they trash talk each other.
Okay.
And Leonard Williams even said that Derek Hall can be kind of have like a bully mentality, and
that
DeMarcus Lawrence is a guy that can clash with him.
Yeah, let me here's a little bit of there's a lot of sound on this. Let me see. Here's a little bit on Leonard Williams talking about Derek Hall.
I think that's huge. We got D Hall coming off of a great season last year. A lot of our guys coming off of some good seasons, and I think overall we want to take that next step as a defensive front, and a huge part of that is just communicating.
Hold on, he's just talking about how good he is. Here he is talking about with DeMarcus Lawrence.
Yeah, I do. We joke around, saying that D-Law has the little brother he never had, and D-Hall has the big brother he never had, and they're competing and talking smack with each other all the time, but then they're also giving each other tips. I think D-Law is just a great veteran for him to have right now.
There's a little bit more.
I'm not sure. I think like D Hall's like one of those like aggressive mentality type of guys, and like sometimes I wouldn't say bully, but like for lack of better terms, I would just use that word. Sometimes he's like the bully that likes to walk around and stuff like that. But then when he runs into D Law, he's like doesn't take that type of stuff, So he finally like met somebody that can clash back with him.
And Derek Hall looked great again on Saturday. So he's another guy that just kind of needs to take that jump or make that jump. And, who better to learn from than someone like DeMarcus Lawrence.
Good.
So
How about
I like
the quarterbacks?
Those pairings.
How'd the quarterbacks look more?
The quarterbacks looked good. I thought Darnold was really solid again. No picks. JSN and Bobo each dropped a pass on him towards the end of practice. So those ones were not his fault. He's been really good about throwing the ball away when there's nothing there, getting it out quickly when there is. He went to our guy Barner on back-to-back plays to open red zone drills. There was a touchdown pass first, and then the second was kind of a fun play-action fake to the running back with a pitch to Barner. He just kind of muscled his way through the middle of the pile and came up fiery, yelling.
Good.
So that was good. And then really good day for some of the rookies, too. Elijah Arroyo and Torrey Horton had some good chemistry with Drew Lock out there. I saw Horton catch a touchdown pass from Lock in one of the periods after they had a couple false starts. Lock started off the day slow.
It is funny when you hear McDonald say things like, oh, they're coming out of the huddle well, and you're like, really? That, like, at the NFL, but yeah, even at the NFL level, some of those just basics of getting it all, the timing down, and it's amazing how often it's hard to get all that right.
Even in a practice when you're going a little slower and having the plays fed to you.
How was Jalen Milroe?
Well, and I was just going to say Arroyo, too. They're moving him around. Like he said, Kubiak told him he would, all around the formation, and he looks the part. He's leaping for catches. He had a toe tap catch. But I am interested when the pads come on to see how he is as a blocker, because that was the kind of question mark with him coming in. Milroe was awesome. I feel like he's not getting quite as many reps as the other guys, but he opened up 7-on-7s with a really nice deep ball to JSN, where I was like, that does not look like a quarterback that's known for his legs, with the arm still a question. That looks like a really good quarterback.
If he can do that consistently, man. I mean, obviously, that's one of the main places my eyes are going to go today also. Like, I'm just interested, and I'm not trying to build up quarterback controversy or anything. I don't think that's the case. But just the long-term excitement and upside of what he can do. There just aren't many guys that can run like that. And if he can put together the ability to throw and throw on time and do it consistently, I'm sorry, like you have something that not everybody does. He's a unique weapon. So.
And then there was a play action pass where, I mean, I totally bet on the fake. I thought he had handed it off to the running back, so he did a really nice job with that. But unfortunately, Steven Sims was well covered. That's who he was trying to get it to.
Yeah, so the safety didn't bite on the fake the way you did. You were like the cameraman in the NFL when they get fooled a little bit on play action.
I was impressed with his execution on that one.
All right. Well, Maura, we'll be out there again today, so we'll have more observations tomorrow from training camp as the pads come on today. Looking forward to it. Thank you for going out there on Saturday, and great job there with some observations. Angie Mentink will be with me in 20 minutes. We'll do some Mariner conversation, obviously, with her. She had the series this weekend, so a lot of good stuff from Angie and things she took away and noticed. And yeah, that's coming up in 20. It's Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710.
Seahawks training camp is underway.
That is music to the ears.
And nobody gives you more insider access than the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Coach McDonald sitting down with us right now. This thing on and ready for you.
Watch how the Seahawks roster comes together.
Seattle Sports training camp coverage is presented by the Landing in Renton.
Seahawks training camp on Seattle Sports on 710, the Seattle Sports app, and the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's danielnelsonmd.com.
It is that time of year. I cannot wait for the weather to get warm like it is now on consecutive days. That means I can break the motorcycle out, ride to work, ride all over the place, and I love it more than just about anything. But I also know that it's not a matter of if, but when you get in an accident, what are you going to do? Well, I'll tell you, when you're injured in a motorcycle crash, don't settle for firms that say they're motorcycle lawyers. Trust the ones who live it. Law Tigers has been a part of the writing community for nearly 25 years nationwide. They are here 24/7 open 365 days a year because riders deserve real support when they need it. Law Tigers is the resource riders can turn to when they are in need. Law Tigers is out at all the events and supporting all clubs and shops. The Law Tigers are always by your side. Your case evaluation is always free. There are no fees until your case settles. The Law Tigers, you never ride alone. Law Tigers, Washington's motorcycle lawyers. Jimmy Cook, 539 Broadway, Unit 104, Tacoma, Washington, 98402.
There's a sink at the brink and a drain that's a pain.
DayandNight.net.
The old throne's not too well, and ooh, does it smell?
DayandNight.net.
Slow drains, backed up toilet, is your main drain or sewer clogged? Hi, I'm Bruce, General Manager of Day and Night Plumbing and Heating. Over the past 70 years, I think we've seen every drain clog out there. If your pipes aren't draining from a small fix to a major repair, our sewer and camera inspection will show exactly where the problem is. I promise you, our experienced technicians will find the issue, the right solution, and do it at a fair price. Give us a call or visit
DayandNight.net.
I guarantee whether Day and Night is your first choice or your smart second opinion, we'll work harder than anyone to earn your trust.
If you have a drain that's slow or clogged, call Day and Night. Now you'll save $50 off any drain cleaning. Slow or clogged drains? You know where to go.
DayandNight.net.
When it comes to the security of your business, doubts can creep in about who you're trusting to protect it. Are they a reliable service? How will I know if something happens? Are they keeping everyone safe? At Bay Alarm, we got you. For nearly 80 years, we've been putting our customers' minds at ease with our advanced technology and personalized support. Feeling insecure about your current security service? Visit bayalarm.com today to talk to a local security expert.
The home of the Mariners.
One hopper snared at short. On a quick hop by J.P. Crawford. That guy's a magician over there at shortstop.
Seattle Sports.
Download the Seattle Sports app.
When your outside matches how you feel on the inside, that's kindness. And so I think that is the one thing that the Lee Johnson Auto family encourages us, is to be like really authentic and really be intentional in how we treat our customers and how we treat each other.
To have a good company, have a good culture, have a good crew that takes care of your customer base, you have to take care of your crew. You can't have miserable people and expect them to give a customer a good experience.
Walking in here, meeting some of the employees already before I was even hired on, welcoming me in, gave me a good indication what this company was all about. So if I were to make an hour and a half drive here and to have fun here for 8 to 9 hours a day versus if it's the other way around, then I'll take it.
It's not a script. It's a belief. The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
When you own a business, it feels like everything's on you. Orders, deliveries, employees, on you. That's why Comcast Business is giving you a year of mobile on us with your internet service. Really? Yep. We'll cover your first line of mobile for 1 year. So calling customers, getting directions, texting Janine and shipping, on us. The broken coffee maker? That one's still on you, which means you'll save hundreds for your business and get the fastest mobile service with 5G cellular and Wi-Fi hotspots on us. But hurry, this deal won't last long. Get a mobile plan and free up the budget to maybe, I don't know, fix that coffee maker? Get mobile on us for 1 year, you guessed it, on us. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 9/22/25. Restrictions apply. New mobile customers only with internet standard service or above. Limited to value of 1 unlimited intro line apply via 12 monthly internet bill credits. 1 discount per account. Fastest mobile based on mobile, Wi-Fi, and cellular data in service areas. Ookla Speed Test Intelligence 2H24.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Yeah, you want to see at this time of the year a little bit more than a split in Anaheim, but, you know, it's not going to hurt you. It just sort of pushes off the run that you know the Mariners need to go on at some point here before the season comes to an end. And they're working on it, and trade deadline is another good opportunity for them to add, but just not playing as tight a baseball as maybe you would have hoped this weekend. You did get some offense. A lot of good news. Cal Raleigh with 2 home runs. Julio with 4 home runs in the series. Randy stays hot as well. But the flip side of that, frustrating extra inning loss on Friday night.
The 1-0.
Swung on, Q shot, right side. Cole Young dives. It's off his glove. It's into right field. It's a base hit. Wade around third base. He's going to score, and it's heartbreak for the Mariners. How did that ball get through? Just in the right spot. Cole Young did everything possible to try and knock it down. It gets into right field, and the Angels walk it off. They beat the Mariners 3-2 in 10 innings.
Yeah, frustrating game. Julio's 2 home runs, the only scoring in that one. The only scoring yesterday was Cal's solo shot. And in the other 2 games, they look great. Kind of did everything you would want them to do. So, yeah, there's still offensive question marks. There's still some question marks right now with both the starting pitching and the bullpen after your top 3 or 4 guys. And you still have 3 more days to try to address it. It sounds like the bullpen may be the spot that Jerry Dipoto is most focused on. Here he was on Sirius XM.
Yeah, this is one of our favorite times of year. When we put ourselves in good position, we've always been given the ability to go out and do the fun thing at the deadline. And that's, the Rock in 22 and Randy Rosarena and friends last year, obviously Josh so far, and we are dialed on the bullpen, and that makes us like just about everybody else who's trying to get to the finish line. But it's the bullpen, as they are the late movers, and somewhere in the last day or two, and maybe in the last hour or two, you'll start seeing some of the higher impact bullpen guys go off the board, and we will be as aggressive in that area of the market as just about anybody, I would imagine. And
I think that's a good thing. High-impact bullpen relievers exactly one of the major needs on this team. They accomplished need 1 in getting Josh Naylor. Need 2 for me would be that bullpen arm, leverage bullpen arm. Need 3 after that would be another bat, and then you can have a conversation about, a lower leverage arm and maybe another starter. But got to, I think, get those first 2 things done first. Those are the real needs left on this roster.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
I loved Ichiro's speech yesterday. I thought he did a great job with the whole thing. Just a great mix of some real serious stuff, thanking people, heartfelt, a lot of great lessons for life. And then even some humor thrown in there as well. Here he was talking about his life after baseball.
Shortly after I retired, Yumiko and I had a date night. We did something we had never been able to do while I was a player. We sat in the stands and enjoyed a Mariners game together. We did it the American way, by eating hot dogs. Of all the experiences baseball has given me, enjoying a hot dog at a game is the person most responsible for helping me reach this moment is the most special.
That's a pretty high compliment for his wife and for, that hot dog. That's a lot. Good for Ichiro. He also spoke to his records and the one writer that didn't think he was a Hall of Famer.
Baseball taught me what it means to be a professional, and I believe that is the main reason I am here today. Not because my skills are better than others. 3,000 hits or 262 hits in one season are achievements recognized by the writers. Well, all but one of you.
How about that? Ichiro firing shots at the one writer that didn't vote for him as he was nearly a unanimous choice for the Hall of Fame. I thought he did a heck of a job yesterday.
Well, and then he added the offer to have dinner at my house has expired.
Yeah, it's been rescinded. I gotta love it, man. Ichiro was always known by his teammates as being a really funny dude. And, for years we didn't get an opportunity to hear that side of him. I thought we did get a little of it yesterday, which was certainly very, very cool.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
We were just talking about it. Seahawks putting the pads on for the first time today. Mike McDonald, I think, pretty happy with the way practice has gone so far.
It's a great practice. A lot of great spirit, a lot of great competition. It's the right mix of hey, we're getting after it, but we're taking care of one another, sharpening each other, talking some smack. All 3 phases doing a lot of great stuff. But there is, it's obvious there's plenty of, we're not even close to being where we need to be. We know that. But, for day 3, just excited about the effort, the intent, and just the overall competition. So that was a great day.
There's that formula. Everything's going really great, really happy with it. Now, we're not good or anything yet, but really, really happy about the way everything is going. He did talk about his quarterbacks, which I think everyone wants to know about.
A lot of great stuff. The command of the system is really impressive. How we're getting in and out of the huddle, getting in and out of plays. Sam's movement ability, accuracies is definitely on display. Guys are playing decisive. Drew can throw the heck out of the ball, and then J-Mill, I think he's taken a step from where he was in the spring. You can tell all three guys worked really hard in the offseason, both, fundamentally and systematically, and, it's exciting. So I think all three are playing well.
Good news, and certainly we'll have more of that conversation with Brady Henderson at 9:30 this morning. Only bad news really from practice. Kenny McIntosh suffers an ACL tear. He will likely miss the rest of the season. Bummer for him, probably good news for Damian Martinez, and that is everything you need to know. 1:15 every hour here on the Brock and Salk Show. Angie Mentink, great baseball player in her own right in her day, doing a great job on the broadcast, and she had the games this weekend in Anaheim. What did she see? What does she think? What happens next? Angie joins me next. It's Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Bump and Stacy, weekdays 10 to 2.
I'll start with the biggest storyline. I mean, it's Sam Darnold, right?
Yeah, it's got to be Sam. When you get into training camp, this is when you really make this thing yours. And I compared it to like religion. Like, you just got to have faith, dog. Like, that's the only way. You can feel it sometimes, depending on what you believe in. You can see it sometimes, but you don't really know. You got to have faith.
Bump and Stacy, weekdays 10 to 2 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten, classics are remixed, bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
Get lower energy bills, cleaner air, and year-round comfort with AeroSeal duct sealing. Normally $2,500, now just $99 for PSE customers with each replacement furnace or heat pump from Home Comfort Alliance. Learn more at homecomfortalliance.com today.
Hey golf fans, Jordan Babineau here. Get ready for an unforgettable weekend at the 2025 Boeing Classic. Come see Masters champions and Hall of Fame golfers battle it out at the club at Snoqualmie Ridge, August 8th through the 10th. Bring the whole family and check out Seahawks Village, packed with fun for all ages. Plus, celebrate 20 years of the Boeing Classic, supporting the Benaroya Research Institute at Virginia Mason Franciscan Health. It's more than just golf. It's an experience you won't want to miss. August 8th through the 10th. Tickets start at just $20 and kids get in free. Visit BlowingClassic.com for more.
You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Superior Linen Service will help your company with logoed apparel, uniforms, floor mats, linen, and more. Give us a call. We answer the phone. Superior Linen Service. It's what we do. Visit suplinen.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody. Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Seattle Sports is giving you a shot at 4 tickets to see the Seahawks host the Raiders August 7th. Just open the Seattle Sports app, tap the Win tab in the bottom right corner, and enter. You can enter once per day, so the more you enter, the better your chances. Enter daily from July 23rd through 28th. Full details and rules at seattlesports.com/win. Only from the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports. The home of the Mariners.
It is gone! Cal Raleigh, 2-run home run!
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, Brock Ewart here for my friends over at PCF Construction. If you're seeking a complete outdoor living space or a very specific project like an underdeck ceiling, maybe a new deck, patio cover, railings, well, my friends at PCF have you covered. This summer, well, you can enjoy 12 months of no interest and no payments. And how about this? Plus 50% off a design and architectural drawing package or up to $5,000 off an undercover system. If you're looking at your outside and saying, golly, what a beautiful summer in the Pacific Northwest, and we can't take advantage of it, well, take advantage of these offers today. If you've been wanting that new deck, that new patio cover, make the call. Get online right now and connect with my friends at PCF. You can find all the offer details. You can get project ideas, and you can browse photos at pcfgroup.com or call today at 425-629-8476. Don't let this offer pass you by. It's 425-629-8476.
Overburdened with a bunch of stuff you don't want anymore, but feel bad throwing it away? John here with Happy Hauler, Seattle's eco-friendly junk removal. We prioritize donating and recycling. We'll help get your items to those in need instead of going to the landfill. At Happy Hauler, we pride ourselves on responsibility, community, and sustainability. We're a family-run small business that provides junk removal, donations, and recycling. Make yourself, your community, and the planet happy. It's time to reclaim your space. HappyHauler.com, hauling with a heart.
Toyota of Renton and Toyota of Kirkland have that new car you've been looking for. With the power of choice, drive the sleek hybrid Camry leasing as low as $299 a month, the dependable Corolla, or the electric Prius leasing at just $309 a month. If you're headed to the ballpark or cruising I-5 from the north or the south, visit Toyota of Renton or Kirkland or shop online at toyotaofrenton.com and toyotaofkirkland.com. Offers valid through August 4th, 2025. Excludes taxes, license, and negotiable $200 dealer documentation fee. See dealership for details.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Always love the opportunity to chat with one of my favorite people in the Seattle sports media, and that is Angie Mentink, who did the games over the weekend and joins me right now. Good morning, Angie. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing well. So I know everybody would have liked to have taken the series, but, here we are.
Where are you, home, or are you doing the A's series as well?
I'm doing the A's series as well. It's kind of funny. My son plays baseball down here at Sac City. And so I'm like one of probably the only people on the trip that is like, hey, this Sacramento leg, I want to make sure I'm on that one to the minor league ballpark in July.
Yeah, Sacramento in late July is, that's a little toasty.
Where would you rather be? So, actually, the fans up in the hotel room, so I crept out silently to do this. It was pretty funny.
Well, I appreciate
they're
that.
soft as cotton.
Thank you.
Of course.
You're the best. So we're almost 4 months into this season. Do you know who your Mariners are? Like, I feel like at some point we have to at least learn who this team is, and we're 4 months in. I still don't know who they are.
No, I think that's so fair. And it's been, really the frustrating thing about this season because they have been just so incredibly inconsistent. They go on these spurts, not runs, but like spurts. And you're like, yeah. And the good news is they have been, and, Dan has said it kind of over and over again, very resilient. And I agree. They haven't let, really long losing streaks happen. And that's kind of weird because, you look at what's happened to the Tigers or, teams like the Dodgers, and they've gone on these incredibly long losing streaks. And that's part of a 162 game season usually, but the Mariners really kind of haven't done that. So yes, it's very odd. I mean, every single time you feel like we're like, yes, you're like, no. And then you're like, yes again. I mean, it's a very strange season in that way, because you usually don't see it. That a team has been so inconsistent, like the Mariners have.
And some of that has been baseball this year, obviously. I mean, we know that's happening around the league to an extent. But, from the offensive side of it, and I love the way you see the game and break down the game, when their offense is working versus when it's not, what is the difference?
I think I see two things. One, traffic in front of the home runs. They certainly have the ability to leave the yard, but solo shots in this game aren't incredibly painful. And then two, I feel like when the bottom of the order does well, when they create that traffic and find a way to get on, whether they're working walks or just sneaking one through the infield and then turning it over to the top. We are starting to see Julio, be the second half Julio that we've come to know and love. So that's really encouraging. Obviously, Cal is just continuing to make us, tax our lexicons on what he's been able to do this season. But I think those two things, just the ability to put traffic on in front of the long ball and the bottom of the order doing something.
Yeah, and that's something that had obviously been missing the last few years. And when you get two rookies generally hitting 8 and 9, both guys have had their moments, but I think I know what you're saying there is it's not maybe quite as consistent at the bottom, and that leads to maybe some of the inconsistency offensively.
And the other thing that's kind of been strange, and this is something about Dan that it's been fun to kind of watch unfold is, he's not necessarily like a lefty righty guy. Dan is that guy that wants Dom Canzone, to say like, hey, I believe in you in this situation, even though it's, lefty on lefty.
Mm-hmm.
And he did that with Luke Raley as well. And that bottom of the order is kind of sometimes a little bit of I don't want to say a jumbled mess, but that certainly leads into, that sort of inconsistency that we're talking about. I think the bottom of the order has a lot of that chaos, and not like in the fun chaos ball that we enjoy so much talking about.
Where are you on the lefty righty versus kind of, support the guy? Where are you on that?
Yeah, well, I'd like to find that out. I would give Luke Raley a bazillion at bats in spring training left-handed. Here we are. So this is sort of a different thing, but it'll be interesting sort of going forward, because you look at somebody, like Josh Naylor, who's here now. I mean, that dude's not coming out. There's no lefty righty there. That guy is a, left-handed bat against left-handed pitching. But the only way you get that way, and particularly, once you get sort of to the upper portions of the minor leagues and then the major leagues, is to see that pitching.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand his thought process, because there are going to be times in really important games that either you've exhausted your bench or he has already come in, for a right-handed bat, and you have to have him in this situation. So I think he's kind of, constantly sort of using this as like almost like a testing ground, if you will, in non-critical situations. But yeah, I think it just depends. It depends on the matchup. It depends on the pitcher. It depends on which lefty hitter versus, which righty hitter, et cetera. So I don't think I have a hard, fast rule. I think it's just completely dependent on the situation and the hitter the pitcher.
What have you seen from Julio since the break? You mentioned we might be seeing second half Julio. What looks good to you?
His timing. I mean, he's just certainly catching that ball out in front. But even more than catching the ball out front, he's catching everything out front. He, in that series, against the Angels, I mean, he hit a slider out, he hit a fastball out, he hit a cutter out. It was four different home runs on 4 different pitches. And he's covering everything with power. So, Julio is incredibly strong, such a gifted athlete. All he has to do is really kind of squared up. And I don't get really super frustrated when he's hitting hard ground balls because I feel like it's just a matter of time. And we're a little bit greedy, and we want that to happen a little bit sooner. And you're thinking,
why don't the ground balls?
You're that close. Why does it take so long?
Why ground balls? Why do ground balls in particular, hard ground balls, kind of work for you for Julio?
Because he's just late. He's that close. I mean, he's literally tenths of a second away from catching that ball just a little bit more out in front. I mean, the difference between, we talked about the fly ball, the ground ball, and the line drive is a quarter of an inch. I mean, draw a Sharpie on a bat, and that's the difference. And it's the same way in timing. That ball is traveling at 97 miles per hour, and the difference is you getting it 6 inches deeper versus 6 inches out in front. He's not, missing it. He's just mishitting it. And that's the way Julio is, kind of kept himself afloat with all those hard ground balls because he is so strong. His exit velocity is so impressive. And then he's just right there. So he's not the only hitter sort of, that sort of goes through this, but it is a little bit frustrating. It's like, did it really take you a half a season to get here? I mean, it feels like it should take a couple weeks and then you'd sort it out. But I love seeing it every single time he sort of, falls in and clicks.
It's unbelievable.
And it's,
I mean, when he is Julio,
really is.
It's just so unbelievably fun to watch. I think one of the things that's interesting to me about Julio is this debate on when he's at his best. Is it when he's taking the ball out front and pulling the ball with power to left field and hitting the home runs and doing everything that Julio can do? Or is it when he's concentrating on going to right field and staying up the middle? And maybe the two things can work at once, but it feels like there's almost been like a debate on what the best Julio is.
The best Julio is when he is taking that fastball to right center. And the reason why is he's willing to be a little bit late on that fastball. It's the off-speed pitch that he is slugging to left. And what we're seeing right now is, if you try to pull that off-speed pitch, if you try to pull that pitch, you are going to roll over that pitch. You have to see that pitch, recognize that pitch, and have that same approach that you have, with that fastball. Okay, I'm going to take it to right center field if you're Julio and a right-handed batter, and then you will pull it. If you try to pull the off speed, you will roll over it. So you have to continue to take that mindset. And, especially like some hitters, that was the problem with Luke Raley. When he put on the glasses, he was seeing the ball so much better that he was just rolling over everything because he was just out in front. As soon as he recognized it, you know what I mean? He's thinking pull. And unfortunately, you just can't. So he had to throw away the glasses and be like, all right, we're going to try this again in spring training because I can't make this adjustment mid-season.
Talking to Angie Mentink as she's on the road with the team doing the games for the next few days as well. You and I were texting the other night about Josh Naylor, and I think the comp that we got from a listener last week I thought was an interesting one. Left-handed, good version of Ty France. And when Ty was going really well a few years ago, whether it was the playoff year or one of the couple of years before that, not a power guy, but he has some power, makes a ton of contact. I kind of like the comp.
I like the comp. The only thing that's a little bit different is the spice.
Yeah.
Is the pepper. I mean, he is like, you are my blanket son. I mean, I've talked to Munoz about this, and he's like the nicest guy, and then he walks across the field and he's a different dude. He's a different person. He's so intense. And I just don't remember seeing such an intense Mariner, if you will. We just haven't had that kind of spice, but everything about him and his approach right now, and he's evolving too. He's talking about how much better he is this year in, situational hitting, and maybe he hasn't hit for as much power because he's trying to make sure, he's doing what needs to be done within the game. And I'm like, hello, hi, I love you. And then, his sneaky little speed with the stolen bases.
Yeah.
I mean, he just seems like he is a really smart baseball IQ team guy that's willing to do, what's necessary to move the baseball and to make the team win. I like the comp. Of course I do with Ty France.
I mean, that's your guy. That's why I sent it to you, because
Totally.
I knew that's your guy. But you're right. And we did mention earlier, and I know you have very delicate ears, and you've probably never heard any curse words in your day. That's yeah. And we don't swear ever on this station, but the red ass is a unique baseball
I didn't know
expression.
You could say it on the radio.
You can't
I don't know.
really, but I'm going to take a liberty today because it's just like there have been articles written about it. It's unique to baseball. I took your challenge and I was trying to think of other players that we've seen here in my 16 years, and you go back a little bit longer than that, who have it. I wasn't here for Randy Johnson. He's probably the best example of a Mariner.
100%.
He was like that all the time.
I didn't count him because he's a pitcher. He's a pitcher. And
right.
So it's like, but you're right.
I mean, Kyle Seager at times, but not. I wouldn't say that was definitive of his personality. I'm not going to include guys like Danny Valencia or Milton Bradley. They just went too far with it, or
we said exactly. We mentioned Milton Bradley, and we're like, no,
that doesn't count. That's just crazy.
He's crazy. Exactly.
Yeah, that's not grumpy. That's just crazy. You're right, there aren't really a lot of great examples. JP can be like that a little bit with the media, but not really with his teammates. Robbie Ray was the only other name that maybe jumped out to me.
Oh, that's a good one. Yep. I know, which is crazy because those guys are all pitchers.
Yeah.
It just to have a guy in there every day with that sort of intensity, I think is just going to be the missing piece of a puzzle we didn't realize we were missing.
Yeah, and it's a nice offset maybe to Julio, who's the exact opposite of that, joy and vibrance. And Cal's kind of right in the middle, it feels like.
I mean, he's such a leader on this team, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
And dare I would say he's kind of taken, I'd say, over that role from JP. But, with what he's doing and just his role with his staff, and, he is that catcher, he's that quarterback on the field, he is that guy that's, really, controlling so much of the game. I think there's just so much respect from his teammates. So, yeah, it'll just be interesting. And I know Josh already, he's kind of coming in, and even as cool and talented and everything else as he is, he's still, walking into a situation where he knows Munoz and really no one else very well, and, trying to feel out the situation. I mean, I think we all know, we'd like one more piece, to fit into this puzzle and how well that would sort of, pull everything together if the Mariners are able to pull that off.
Yeah. You mentioned Cal. It's funny. I was texting with our group here with Brock and Lyle and Maura over the weekend, and I was like, "Hey, not a concern yet, but just something to maybe keep an eye on since the All-Star break. Cal is hitting like 200 with only one extra base hit. Is this something we should? Oh yeah, 2 home runs in the next 2 days. Don't even worry about that. It's like every time you start to think maybe he's getting tired, that the magic is worn off. No, he just comes right back and continues to crush the ball. What I love about your analysis is always the way you look at swings. I can't tell you how many people have asked me, "Hey, what is Cal doing differently this year?" And I'm not a swing technician. I don't. That would be getting way out over my skis. What changes has he made that you think have helped him become a better hitter this year?
I was just talking about this with Tim Laker, who used to be the Mariners coach and is now with the Angels organization. And he was telling me how it was one night when Cal was like at 32 home runs. And he goes, I watched every single one of them. And a couple things that jumped out at him. And he said it was just 2 things. It was the ability to cover up above, and we've talked about him doing that high tee drill and how it allows him to stay behind the baseball. And I think that's something that he struggled with a lot last year. It's a small adjustment. It's made a huge impact in that, he would stride, he'd get into his load, and he'd be out on that front foot a little bit. And when you get out on that front foot, your hands drift a little bit forward and you're not in that launch position as much. So he's been able to make that adjustment. And then the other thing that Tim was talking about, and continuing to sort of, hone in on, he goes, I couldn't believe how well he was using his lower half and his legs to go down and get the pitch. Because a lot of times guys will stay upright and just try to get their barrel there. But just his ability to kind of use those knees as a shock absorber to be able to get that lower pitch. And then sometimes, if they throw him off speed, how many times have we seen Cal Raleigh allow his front side, his firm, front leg to get a little bit soft so he can continue that path forward, so he can keep his bat in the zone longer. Because if you keep that front leg firm, the bat's going to be in and then it's got to come out. But if you keep it's like Mitch Garver used to do this really well. You'd see him kind of like allow that front side to get soft and continue forward. So he's just sort of done, a lot of different things.
When you say front side soft, Angie, just to jump in to make sure I understand what you're saying, that's essentially keeping your knee loose and bent as opposed to stiff?
Yeah, well, it goes stiff on fastball, sort of if it's like that's timing.
Uh-huh.
And then if he recognizes off speed and he needs to continue forward, he allows that front knee to just get a little bit soft so he can continue back to front instead of having sort of a pivot point, if you can understand, and rotate out of the strike zone with his bat. Again, Mitch used to sort of, Mitch Haniger. Did I say Mitch Garver?
You did, but I think I knew what you meant. Mitch Haniger, yeah.
Yeah.
Because we'd see it all the time, right? With his
really
ankle collapsing.
Yes. But you want to be on time. You don't want to do that. You don't want to be out in front and over your, soft front knee unless you have to be. Mitch would kind of, sort of live there a little bit more. But to be able to do sort of all of those things like Cal is doing this season has just been incredibly impressive. And then, you don't know, you can't discount the small incremental impact that having that torpedo that has. I think that helps him because he is a switch hitter. So he is looking to pull and he's looking to be on the barrel. Some guys like a Luke Raley or even like a Julio Rodriguez. Julio Rodriguez does not want a torpedo bat because he hits a lot of balls off the end of the bat. He doesn't have the luxury of being a switch hitter, and having soft stuff come into him right-handed, soft stuff come into him left-handed. So, he has to be able to make contact off the end of the barrel. Luke Raley's another guy from the left side. He's going to hit balls off the end. Cal doesn't have to do that. He's looking to get the ball to his pull side on the barrel. And I think the torpedo bats have been really helpful with that too.
That's an interesting view on the torpedo bat. So Leo, I'm going to put you from hitting coach into the front office for a moment. And we're 3 days away. I know 3 days away here, Angie. Jerry comes to you, Justin comes to you and says, all right, I got room for one more move. What should it be? What position are you adding?
You know it. I mean, I want Geno. Everybody wants Geno, more than they can stand. If the Mariners got Geno, they would undoubtedly be, I think, the front runner in the American League. There is, no one who's got like a clear path to the World Series. I think in the American League, and really kind of things are getting a little bit murky in the National League as well. What we thought maybe in the beginning of the season, things have morphed, but I just feel like Geno is a guy that he would fold into this clubhouse so well. He's not afraid of T-Mobile Park and hitting there. And you're just talking about what an and I think everything that I think about with Geno has less to do with his ability to leave the yard and more about, him just being one of those incredible clubhouse guys. And not that the chemistry on this team is great, but when you can add that bat and you can just fold that so nicely into the clubhouse. I mean, if there's a way, I know that if there's a way to get him, Jerry would love to have him. And I hope somehow, that he can do that.
Yeah, it's interesting. The Geno one is an interesting thing to me because obviously, yes, everything you just said is true about him and we know it and got a chance to live it. The only challenge with 2 months of Geno is that he's such a streaky player that if you spend a lot on a 2-month rental on Geno Suarez, you might get like the bad strikeout, no home run Geno instead of the awesome Geno that you get, that the Diamondbacks have had for about the last year. I'm surprised. I would have guessed that you would have said a bullpen arm, and that's kind of where we've been focused today.
Yeah, I think things can move around. You have Bryce coming back, and I'm not exactly sure what role or what length he will have, moving forward when he is able to get back. But if he's able to get back, that is an arm that then either where you decide to put him or what kind of length he gives you may be one thing this year and one thing next year moving forward. Or I think that's just, to me, a lot easier. Or I'm telling you, Mike Vargas is the nastiest, filthiest arm out in that bullpen and maybe in the American League. I mean, he is Munoz nasty when he's on. He just has not been consistent, and I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility in his progression, out in the bullpen to get there this season. But yeah, I just, when you look at the Mariners and how they've missed the playoffs the last couple of years and by a game, if you don't think that Geno moves that needle, I'll argue with you.
Angie, thank you. This was so much fun. Texters, unsurprisingly, loving it. Tyler saying, Angie is so great. I love hearing women talking baseball and sports. Being a father of an athletic daughter, letting my daughter listen to Angie talk baseball is awesome. 509 points out that we're nerding out with Angie today. They're absolutely right. Some baseball nerddom. And 206 saying, Angie's been a tremendous addition in the broadcast booth. Such a depth of knowledge and analysis. Huge fan. I'll add humor and kindness to that as well. Angie, appreciate your time. Have fun in beautiful Sacramento in the summer.
You guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
There you go. Angie Mentink, who's doing a great job this year on those Mariners broadcasts. And yeah, all right. Geno over an arm? Geno over an arm? I got to think about that a little bit. We'll come back, talk some more. It's Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com.
Seahawks training camp is underway.
That is music to the ears.
And nobody gives you more insider access than the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Coach McDonald sitting down with us right now. This thing on and ready for you.
Watch how the Seahawks roster comes together.
Seattle Sports training camp coverage is presented by the Landing in Renton.
Seahawks training camp on Seattle Sports on 710, the Seattle Sports app, and the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
Comcast Business High Five Hotline. What's the state of your excitement?
I signed my business up for the 5-year price lock guarantee, and I can't stop high-fiving people. High five!
Okay,
Oh,
deep
high
breath.
High five.
You're in a good place. You signed your business up for 5 years of gig speed internet and advanced security, all on our ultra-reliable network.
Gig speeds and advanced security? I'm so stoked.
Yep, and you get it at a great rate that's locked in for 5 years.
Woo!
The high five is just your body's way of saying, I'm winning.
So this is natural.
High-fiving everyone you see in a state of business savings enthusiasm? Totally natural.
Sweet. Thank you. Thank you. High five, everybody. High five.
The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee is back, but only for a limited time, so sign your business up today.
High five.
Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 9/21/25 for new customers with qualifying bundle. Current customers may be eligible depending on services and area. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
10-time MLB All-Star, 10-time Gold Glove Award winner, MLB single-season hit leader, a one-of-a-kind player.
And there it is. He's a new all-time hit king in Major League history, number 258.
Head to T-Mobile Park in August as the Mariners celebrate Ichiro's induction into the National Baseball Hall of Fame. The festivities kick off with a 3-day Ichiro Hall of Fame Funko Pop giveaway, Tuesday, August 5th through Thursday, August 7th. On Friday, August 8th, arrive early to score a 2004 Ichiro jersey like the one he wore when he broke the MLB single-season hit record. Saturday, August 9th will feature Ichiro's pregame number retirement ceremony, and the first 20,000 fans on Sunday the 10th will take home a replica of his Cooperstown plaque. It's going to be legendary.
On a tremendous throw by Ichiro. He threw something out of Star Wars.
Get your tickets at mariners.com/Ichiro.
When the heat's in 11.
Cool AC would be heaven.
Dayandnight.net.
Some AC you'll be loving when your house is an oven.
Dayandnight.net.
Northwest summers are beautiful, but there's always a long hot stretch that makes everyone say, man, AC sure would be nice. Well, except for that one annoying friend who won't stop talking about how great his AC is. Hi, I'm Bruce with Day and Night Plumbing and Heating. Don't sweat through another summer. Have Day and Night keep your house cool and comfortable by installing a high-efficiency AC or heat pump. Or if you have an existing system, we'll come and service it. Make sure it's running efficiently and ready to cool when you need it.
When the summer is cooking, we're the place to be looking.
Dayandnight.net.
Stay cool this summer with Day and Night. Call now to get 10% off an air conditioner or heat pump. Plus, no payments or interest for a year OAC. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
Dayandnight.net.
It is that time of year. I cannot wait for the weather to get warm like it is now on consecutive days. That means I can break the motorcycle out, ride to work, ride all over the place, and I love it more than just about anything. But I also know that it's not a matter of if, but when you get in an accident, what are you going to do? Well, I'll tell you, when you're injured in a motorcycle crash, don't settle for firms that say they're motorcycle lawyers. Trust the ones who live it. Law Tigers has been a part of the writing community for nearly 25 years nationwide. They're here 24/7, 365 days a year because writers deserve real support when they need it. Law Tigers is the resource writers can turn to when they are in need. Law Tigers is out at all the events and supporting all clubs and shops. The Law Tigers are always by your side. Your case evaluation is always free. There are no fees until your case settles. The Law Tigers, you never ride alone. Law Tigers, Washington's motorcycle lawyers. Jimmy Cook, 539 Broadway, Unit 104, Tacoma, Washington, 98402.
Hey, Brock Ewart here for my friends over at PCF Construction. If you're seeking a complete outdoor living space or a very specific project like an underdeck ceiling, maybe a new deck, patio cover, railings, well, my friends at PCF have you covered. This summer, well, you can enjoy 12 months of no interest and no payments. And how about this? Plus 50% off a design and architectural drawing package or up to $5,000 off an undercover system. If you're looking at your outside and saying, golly, what a beautiful summer in the Pacific Northwest, and we can't take advantage of it, well, take advantage of these offers today. If you've been wanting that new deck, that new patio cover, make the call. Get online right now and connect with my friends at PCF. You can find all the offer details. You can get project ideas, and you can browse photos at PCFgroup.com or call today at 425-629-8476. Don't let this offer pass you by. It's 425-629-8476.
Let's go!
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Get his freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
I don't read the internet, guys.
Take the bull by the hands.
And Brooke, you are. And Brooke, you are.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Ewart and Mike Salk.
With 3 days to go, Mariners have needs. The question is, where and how do you prioritize those needs? And I thought Angie made a very compelling case that the idea of getting an Geno Suarez goes beyond just filling a need. There's a leadership element to it, a veteran experience element. There's a comfort and knowledge of who he is and what he brings to not only T-Mobile Park, but to your clubhouse every day. There's a lot to love about Geno Suarez, who was such a great fit the first time here in Seattle until he had a lousy year. And by the way, it wasn't that bad, but whoever it was one of our callers, I think, last week, who made a really good point of, like, you can have Geno Suarez on your team and you can have Teoscar Hernandez on your team. It's hard to have both on your team because you can handle the strikeouts you get in terms of, an offset for some of the power that they give. But when you have both of those guys hit next to each other, it's a lot of swing and miss, and there's a lot of streakiness. So I like the point, and adding him back into this lineup with a Josh Naylor, with a hot Cal Raleigh, with Julio, with a Randy Arozarena, with Polanco and the way he's been hitting, it's a different lineup you would be adding him back into, and one in which he would probably thrive. there is still the element of how much can you give up on for Geno after getting back as little as you did just a year or so ago. It requires not becoming like a victim or falling victim to sunk cost, right? You have to just acknowledge the mistake and then make a new trade and think about it as if that never happened. That trade didn't work out. Some have, that one has not. And I'm sure Jerry and Justin would be the first to tell you. They probably overreacted to the strikeouts that went on that year. And as Teoscar left, they also traded Geno. They tried to take that money that they saved on Geno Suarez and spend it elsewhere. Unfortunately, the money was then spent on Urias and Garver. And that, just hasn't panned out. By the way, Mitch Garver's been a pretty good backup catcher. Lyle, I appreciated the numbers you sent out, and, a positive WRC plus this year. When he's played, he's been okay. But not what you were paying for, not what you were hoping for. And, and Urias has also had a decent year in Oakland, right? Or in Sacramento. So, those two guys were not necessarily terrible players, but they didn't do much for you, especially last year. And now Geno has sort of continued to do his thing after nearly getting cut after the first few months in Arizona. So I don't, I think you have to, as hard as it would be for me if I were in Jerry's spot, I think you have to just say, look, yeah, we made a mistake. That was a bummer, but now he's the best thing for this team. You can't do anything about the past. All you can do is try to make this team better for the next 2+ months. And there's no doubt Eugenio Suarez would do that. But he's not the only way to do that. And so you got to, I think, have some level of, what's the right word? It's not even patience. It's more like backbone. You've got to feel confident enough in who you are. And I think they should, especially after the Naylor trade, to say, no, we're not going to meet that price. What'd you say the report was? Because I had heard 2 top 100 prospects last week. Over the weekend, it came out, Lyle, that they were looking for what? Major league player, major league ready top prospect, and a flyer? That's a lot. That's a lot for 2 months.
Yeah, Francis Romero tweeted it yesterday. So here we go. He said, this was about the Yankees, but trade talks between the Yankees and Diamondbacks stalled because Arizona asked for an MLB player, an upper-level prospect, either AA or AAA, and at least one lower-level prospect per industry sources. All
right, and so in Mariners terms, I thought you put it together earlier. That's either Luke Raley or Dom Canzone, Harry Ford or somebody of the ilk, and
you want to throw in
a flyer.
I would say a lottery ticket.
Right, and I guess I don't know all the names of their lottery tickets, but you get the idea. Feels like a lot, honestly. Feels like a lot for a 2-month rental. It does. Now, if you could start to make a difference, if it's Tyler Locklear instead of Harry Ford, does that change it? And then you could try to use Harry Ford to go get a reliever? Maybe. Right? I mean, are you going to trade? Would you deal? I mean, it'd be hard. You still have 4 more years of Luke Raley. And, geez, tell Angie that. She loves him. She loves him, loves her some Luke Raley. But, you trade 4 years of Luke Raley for 2 months of Geno Suarez? It's hard. That'd be a tough one for me. Now, I don't know where Raley's going to play much here over the next few months, right? You don't have a lot of room at DH. First base is now going to be swallowed up by Naylor every day. And, if you're looking for, you can't platoon him and Canzone and Wright because they're both left-handed hitters. So I don't really know unless you can start to get Polanco into the game more often at second base, but I think they don't really want to do that. And Cole Young's played pretty well. So, I mean, where is the long-term fit right now for Luke Raley on this roster? Maybe there isn't one. Maybe you can go and make a deal like that because it's just not really a fit for you as much anymore.
And I don't know how much people want to make of this, but it's been 3 days in a row Raley's been out of the lineup.
Yeah,
and they face righties.
Since they've gotten Naylor, there just hasn't been room for him. So, yeah, I thought that too, which is funny because as he was coming back, all I could think was, hey, Luke Raley really fits what this team wants to be. That speed and power combination. Luke Raley fits a lot of that. Even more than Dom Canzone has. But let's face it, Canzone's been hot. So you can play the hot hand. Canzone's been, just hotter than Raley. So what do? Well, you play Canzone. Pretty simple. He's hitting. Raley hasn't been. Yeah, I was a little surprised. I thought we'd get a little more Luke Raley in right field, but they seem pretty comfortable with what Dominic Canzone's giving them in terms of his at-bats, and he doesn't strike out as much as Raley has this year. So, yeah, would I do a deal? Yeah, maybe I would. Luke Raley, Tyler Locklear, and a flyer. Would you make that deal? Yeah, I think I would. I don't know that I'm adding Harry Ford. I honestly, as much as I agree with a lot of what Angie had to say, I think a leverage arm in your bullpen is more important than a Geno Suarez right now, especially because you'd be looking for somebody that would, be here for longer than just 2 months. I want someone like Harry Ford to be available to deal to Minnesota for Griffin Jacks. I'm going to keep saying that name. I would love to have him here. If it's not him, there's Duran, there's Clase, there's Brock Stewart. Like, there's a bunch of dudes. There was one other name you brought up from Minnesota. Who was the other guy?
Danny Colomb.
Danny Colomb. Yeah, another good player. Like, there's a lot of guys out there that I think would be difference-making relievers for another leverage arm in your pen. Yeah, 253 says, Salk, what about Dylan Moore? Plus Harry Ford, another prospect for Geno. I appreciate that Ken Rosenthal says the Mariners are making Dylan Moore available. Come on. I think the assumption is here in another week, Dylan Moore is probably going to be DFA'd and Miles Mastrobuoni brought back up. At least that would be my assumption. Maybe something changes, but that would surprise me if teams are very interested in a guy who's got like 2 hits in his last 62 at-bats. He's just not going to bring much back, especially at his age. Luke Raley, though, does. Yeah, I think Raley or Locklear maybe has a little bit more value. I don't know. I mean, again, right now, Arizona's saying they want the sun, the stars, and the moon. Yankees have dropped out of it. I don't know how much the Cubs want him. I don't know how much Detroit values him. As you get closer to the deadline, if other teams... Somebody gets Willie Castro. Somebody's already gotten Ryan McMahon, the Yankees. Look, there are other possibilities out there. I think he's the best of them. But yeah, I things can turn on Arizona in a hurry. You don't want to overplay that hand. So if you can make them the right deal, bring Geno Suarez in. Bring in another leverage arm. Yeah, you're going to take a little hit in your farm system, but you didn't give up that much to go get Josh Naylor. You still have the world in front of you. Anything you want to do, you're capable of doing. You add both those guys, a leverage arm and a Eugenio Suarez to this lineup, or even a Willie Castro. Man, I think you really put yourself in a completely different position.
Wyman and Bob, afternoons 2 to 7.
I was always a guy that, like, if I could get an interception, man.
How many did you have in your career?
3.
How many should you have had? If you, as you put it, if you didn't have frying pan hands.
Yeah, I would say probably double that. When I was in high school, I played in a state championship game. I had 2 interceptions in one game, and I was like, that was my favorite game. I just loved that.
Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton, afternoons 2 to 7 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
All right, guys, we are gearing up for summer here. So the weekend trips, gearing up. Heck, we're halfway done with it. Vacations, kids out of school, right? Tons going on. I know I'm driving around with Cecily this week at hockey camps and everything else. So it's easy to make an excuse, right? Oh, I'm too busy to start a diet, a workout, a weight loss plan, whatever. Yeah, don't make an excuse. Eastside Weight Loss Clinic will make it so easy for you. You're not going to feel like you're adding anything to your life. Instead, you're going to be subtracting a ton of weight. And it works. I lost 35 pounds. I ran into Ryan Rowland-Smith this weekend. Almost didn't recognize him. Dude's down 30, looks great. We've heard from listeners, guy down 42 pounds with more to go. So get it done now. Summer really is, especially now heading into August, the perfect time to do it. You will have more energy. You won't feel hungry. The food tastes great. Really good recipes, and it's all food that you buy at the grocery store. Dr. Coogan's been really successful. Over 4,000 local people have had great results, so be the next. Schedule your 15 minutes with Eastside Weight Loss Clinic by going to eastsideweightlossclinic.com. That's eastsideweightlossclinic.com. Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
Want to cut your home energy bills, breathe cleaner air, and improve comfort? The answer, AeroSeal from Home Comfort Alliance. This advanced process seals leaks in your ductwork, improving efficiency and air quality. Normally $2,500. Right now, for PSC customers, get AeroSeal for as little as $99 when they install a furnace or heat pump. Plus, save up to 25% on remaining 2024 heat pumps and air conditioners from Home Comfort Alliance. Visit homecomfortalliance.com today.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya guselkumab may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
History, it had the gold rush. Then came the oil boom, the tech boom, but right now it's the Wi-Fi boom, and Xfinity Wi-Fi is booming. Xfinity has everything you need to tap into the Wi-Fi boom with seriously powerful and seriously reliable connection. It's got 99.99% network reliability and incredibly low lag, so your streams are smoother than making a decision on what to stream. And did I mention that you can even connect to hundreds of devices so you, your kids, your parents, your poker group, and whoever else is at home can all experience the Wi-Fi boom with Xfinity. And the Wi-Fi isn't the only thing that's booming. Get the most reliable Wi-Fi and our best in-class equipment for one consistent price for 5 years guaranteed, all in. Plus, get unlimited data included and no annual contract, all with the 5-year price guarantee from Xfinity. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Restrictions apply, not available in all areas. New residential customers only. Select plans only. Xfinity Gateway with X5 Complete required for unlimited data, except in certain areas. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards, USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024. Actual speeds vary.
The home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Cal swinging a drive, deep to right field.
Every pitch of every Mariners game is on the Seattle Sports app.
I have a handful of stories that really affected me personally in my career and how I handle employees. Lee Johnson, coming out of his office as a customer, asked me where the service department is. And I was like, yeah, go to the end of the hall, go up the stairs, go across the breezeway, open a door, go to the left. You want Chevy, go to the right. You want Mazda? Because I didn't even have enough time to say, hey, what kind of car do you have? Here comes Lee, and it's like, oh, man, come with me. Let me show you. And then have him come back and not dress me down. It's just almost like with that fatherly disappointment of like, hey, that's not how we take care of people. I mean, the right way is to walk her down to the stairs, walk her up the stairs, open the door for her, go over, across the way, open up that door, introduce her to somebody. So she's comfortable, she's made it to the right place, and that we value the business. What you did was you made it seem like she was an inconvenience to you. Customers are the purpose of our day.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Yeah, it was an up and down weekend, up and down series for the Mariners. They went to Anaheim, win your first one, great. but unfortunately dropped the second one in extra innings. But you come back, and the home runs start flowing again on Saturday.
3-1. Swung on. That is cross center field. It is on its way to the rocks, and it is gone. A massive home run by Julio. He does it again. Bedrock in Anaheim. Julio is on fire. He's tied this game. It is 1-1. He's on a home run binge, his third straight game with a homer. He's got 4 in the series.
Yeah, I mean, obviously a great sign. If Julio is hitting up, that is bad news for everyone else in the American League, especially the AL West. And he'll get an opportunity to keep that going in Sacramento over the next few days where it's hot and the ball flies, and we'll see what Julio's capable of. Look, unfortunately, you just, once again, no offense yesterday as Cal comes through with the only run on a home run, his 41st of the year, which is incredible. But just, as Angie was saying earlier, some of the ups and downs and inconsistencies of this offense and at times of this pitching staff, you saw both sides of it this weekend with Red Hot Julio, and Randy had a good weekend, and Cal, obviously. Josh Naylor looks like what he's supposed to be. But then J.P. Crawford's in a horrible slump, and Logan Gilbert still looks mortal. And, yeah, just some of this, ups and downs, backs and forths of the season, and you wait for everything to just sort of coalesce and this team to go on that run that you think they're capable of. Maybe the best news, Houston swept at home by the A's, so the deficit's still just 4 in the West, although you've got to face the A's now. Mariners now in a tie for the third wild card spot, along with Texas. They are both 3 up on the Rays.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
I just really enjoyed the Ichiro speech yesterday as he was inducted into the Hall of Fame, along with CC Sabathia and Billy Wagner. Billy Wagner's always one of my absolute favorites, and it is crazy seeing CC now. I mean, he's like half of what he was. He's lost a ton of weight, and I think he's a much happier person than he was then as well. But it's like hard to recognize that it's the same person that we watched on the mound for all those years. As for Ichiro, well, we know he's still exactly the same, still putting the uniform on. Shocked that he wasn't wearing the uniform for the Hall of Fame speech. And he just said a lot of great things. I mean, there was some funny stuff in there. I've played you some of it over the course of the morning. I really appreciated some of the life lessons.
I have been asked, what's the best thing you can do for your team? My answer is taking responsibility for yourself. Being responsible for yourself means answering to yourself. When you go home at night and wonder why you didn't get a hit or you didn't make a catch, the honest answer is not because a great pitcher beat you or a tough sun was in your eyes. It's because there was something you could have done better. By taking responsibility for yourself, you support your teammates and you don't cheat the fans.
He talks about the difference between dreams and goals. If you have some time, it really is worth it to go listen to Ichiro and some of the words that he put together. Maura, please remind me to play that sound for Brock tomorrow, because no one else will remember except him, but Brock will remember the day we debated. I know Lyle grew up listening to the show, but he probably doesn't remember that day that Brock and I debated this Ichiro error, or not error, because the sun was in his eyes, so they didn't call it an error. We went back and forth on this, and a lot of people were very upset at me because I was saying, look, it happens, but it's Ichiro. Like, I'm going to hold the guy to a higher standard because he's a Gold Glover. And people were like, he's such a good player. Why would you get on him for just this one thing? The sun was in his eyes. And I was like, because he's Ichiro. Like, he earned that right for me to assume he's got to make that play. And it was interesting to hear him specifically reference the sun being in his eyes. It jumped out to me. But that's just one thing. It is really worth your time to go listen to that. And just a really nice job by Ichiro yesterday.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
They're going to get out to Seahawks practice today as the pads come on for the first time. Mike McDonald talking through what his defense looks like.
We didn't start great today, and so they had to hear about it from the coaches, and the vets did a good job of kind of kicking him back into gear, and those are the things that we're trying to take it to the next level. Let's do it every rep, all the time. When we're catching, we're off base, hey, let's recalibrate, get the standard back to where we need it to be. So, again, great day, but there's stuff that's sticking in the back of your mind of, okay, this is some areas where we need to look at.
I like a lot of the Mike McDonald buzzwords in there, and standard is certainly one of those. Leonard Williams is probably the best player on that defense, and he's been happy.
I mean, as a whole, just amazing. I think we've been just stacking days, getting better and better each day. Just the level of competition just keeps on continuing to rise. And that's like the best thing I can see as far as like not just defense, but as a whole team, just the level of competition rising each day.
I mean, that's great to hear. And yeah, he's going to be one of the people I'm going to be looking at today. Get out to practice and want to see those offensive, defensive, one-on-one pass rush drills. Those are usually about as fun and aggressive and, highlights of padded training camp practices. Also going to have eyes on Jalen Milroe and Sam Darnold and the quarterbacks. Here's Mike McDonald on his third-round rookie.
Well, confidence. You see a decisiveness in his game. Eyes are in the right spot more consistently. He can probably go into detail. It just seems to me like it's a quicker delivery. The footwork is starting to, kind of match the routes and the concepts. Still, he's got a whole career ahead of him to improve, but excited to see him right now. I mean, he's doing a good job.
Wasn't that the thing that we heard from DJ and others right at the beginning? Todd McShay, I think, also it's about the footwork. And if he can get the footwork right, everything else will follow suit. I think Jordan Palmer maybe was the one who told us that.
Yeah, his personal coach.
Yeah, he's just got to get the footwork right. Well, I think pretty encouraging to hear the coach now saying, the footwork has really improved. Well, if that improves, we know he's got the arm. We know he's got the legs. A lot to like, I think, about Jalen Milroe. Excited to see him when I get out there today. That is everything you need to know. Quarter past every hour, of course, here on the Brock and Salk Show. Today's the last day, right? If you want to win the tickets to the first preseason game. So here's what you got to do: go download the app if you don't already have it. If you need help downloading the app, against all of my better advice, we are offering help in that category. So you can text the word app, APP, to 866-979-3776, and we'll just send you a link to download it. But go to the Win tab there, and send you and 3 of your friends to go see the Seahawks and the Raiders. Pete Carroll in town for the opening preseason game. Today's the last day, though, to enter, so you got to get it done today. I know Brady Henderson will be there. I'm confident in that. He will be. I mean, you won't see him in the stands, not with the people. Brady's going to be up and behind the glass in the beautiful palatial media suite. But we'll talk to Brady. He's been at practice every day, and he's seen quite a bit. So we'll discuss with our buddy Brady next on Brock and Salk.
Seahawks training camp is underway.
That is music to the ears.
And nobody gives you more insider access than the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Coach McDonald sitting down with us right now. This thing on and ready for you.
Watch how the Seahawks roster comes together.
Seattle Sports training camp coverage is presented by the Landing in Renton.
Seahawks training camp on Seattle Sports on 710, the Seattle Sports app, and the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bet you get 30, bet you get 20, 20, 20, bet you get 20, 20, bet you get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month. So
give it a try at mintmobile.com/save.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
I'm Matt Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Your car steering wheel could be a ticking time bomb. At least 24 people have died and many more injured because their airbags fired shrapnel at them upon inflating. Tens of millions of cars have been recalled. If you suffered cuts that required stitches, hearing or vision loss, or broken bones, please contact us today. You could be owed money for medical bills and other damages.
Morgan & Morgan. Visit us at badairbags.com for an office near you. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Seattle Sports is giving you a shot at 4 tickets to see the Seahawks host the Raiders August 7th. Just open the Seattle Sports app, tap the Win tab in the bottom right corner, and enter. You can enter once per day, so the more you enter, the better your chances. Enter daily from July 23rd through 28th. Full details and rules at seattlesports.com/win. Only from the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports. The home of the Mariners.
Lift off to center. It is on its way. Julio, 2-run home run.
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Immaculate greens, unrivaled natural beauty, championship caliber conditions. Loomis Trail is the epitome of Northwest golf. With water in play on nearly every hole and tree-lined fairways, Loomis Trail provides a fantastic golf experience for those that want a challenge and those looking for a fun getaway. What round are you up for? Tee times available online at golfloomis.com. Start planning your perfect golf getaway today.
There's a sink at the brink and a drain that's a pain.
Dayandnight.net.
You got a pipe with a leak, water's reaching its peak.
Dayandnight.net.
Your old water heater, she's starting to peter.
Dayandnight.net.
The throne's not too well, and ooh, does it smell?
Dayandnight.net.
Have a clogged drain, water heater issue, or plumbing repair, and wish you could get a second opinion? Maybe it's sticker shock, or you'd like to know your options. Hi, I'm Bruce, General Manager of Day and Night Plumbing and Heating. Don't feel trapped. Do the smart thing and get a second opinion. Day and Night will provide you with a fair and honest quote, explain all your options, and help you with the right solution. Give us a call or visit dayandnight.net. I guarantee you, whether Day and Night is your first choice or smart second opinion, we'll work harder than anyone to earn your trust.
Dayandnight.net.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk
Weekdays 6 to 10.
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Good morning to you, Brady Henderson. How we doing?
Hello, Michael Salk. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. You on the boat this morning? Where do we find you?
I'm not. I'm at my girlfriend's place.
Oh,
yeah,
all right.
South.
And then we got training camp today. I mean, we got day one of pads. Are we ready to watch a little one-on-one pass rush drill? What do we think?
Yeah, well, yes, I'm definitely ready. Although, interestingly, they have been doing the one-on-one pass rush drill the last couple practices, even though they weren't in pads. It seems like for the longest time, they would only start doing that when they had the pads on. And so, but they have been doing that. It obviously gets different when the pads come on. And that is, as you know, and as Brock knows, that is the number one drill you got to watch, just because that is where you really get a sense of, how the offensive linemen are looking, how the pass rushers are looking. And it really, just because of the nature of the drill, that's where you tend to see a lot of fireworks. And even, without pads on the last few days, there was not fights by any means, but, there were some guys who kind of got in each other's faces afterwards. And so I'll tell you, that last practice, or maybe it was Thursday, I'm sorry, their third practice, that was about as intense of a practice as you can have without being in pads. And so, I'm looking forward to seeing what that intensity looks like now that the pads are going to be on.
Anybody jump out as you were watching those drills?
Watching the drills, no, I wouldn't say anybody really was like consistently dominant. Charles Cross looks like Charles Cross. Derek Hall had a good one, although I can't remember who it was, but one guy got the better of Derek Hall, and then he got the better of him. So you see a lot of that. Guys will go, back-to-back reps, and especially if they lose that first one, they'll be motivated to win that second one. And so, but nobody has really stood out. But I think that is something that you will see now that the pads are on. Is some guys are gonna separate themselves.
It's been almost a week, not quite a week worth of practices, but you've had an opportunity to kind of sit and watch this team. Do you feel better about them and their prospects this year after being around and watching them? Or do you find yourself more concerned than you had been throughout the offseason?
I wish I had a very radio-friendly answer for you, Mike, but it is just that there's no pads on, and they're not really playing football, and so it's not. I wouldn't say that anything that I've seen really swayed my opinion one way or another about the state of the team. I think it's more, you just kind of tend to notice more individual players. And, Elijah Arroyo, I guess in the sense that there are some individual players who look like they're ready to, young players that look like they're ready to step in and fill roles. And I guess to whatever extent that you can really put stock into that, I guess that does in some ways, encourage optimism about the offense. But again, this is the time of the year that is the kind of setting that pass catchers like Elijah Arroyo and Torrey Horton are it's built for them to stand out because they're not getting hit. Defenders are not really making plays on the ball. I do think that you can find some encouragement, though, just in the fact that Elijah Arroyo really looks the part, and he looks like he has the ability to be what Noah Fant was supposed to be. Noah Fant had 4.5 speed and, was 250 whatever pounds, but in 3 years, I don't know if I ever saw him run away from somebody more than one time or, break very many tackles. And Elijah Arroyo he looks like he can be what Noah Fant was supposed to be. And I think it's also encouraging for them that Torrey Horton is, he's making catches and he's making plays, but just the fact that he's out there, I think is a good sign, just given, where he was in the spring, kind of being limited, coming off the leg injury that ended his final college season. And so Torrey Horton is going to make the team. I think he's going to be their primary punt returner, and he might be their fourth receiver.
It's funny. I asked Bump earlier today for Blue 88 which player would be this year's fan favorite in preseason who, makes a bunch of plays. And what was the guy's name a few years ago? Pope, Tremaine Pope, right? The guy
Tremaine
who just,
Pope,
right. The guy who dominates in preseason, then everybody thinks he's going to be a star. And, he pointed to Jake Bobo just because he's always a fan favorite, and I think it's a great answer. But I wonder if Torrey Horton is a guy who could end up being in that category as well.
Yeah, maybe. What Bobo had going for him was the underdog, sort of storyline, and he still is. By the way, when you go out to training camp, every time Bobo catches a pass, when there's fans there, people go crazy, and he's become a pretty recognizable guy on that team. And, I think that, I agree with what Brock has said, that I think it doesn't seem to me quite like a lock to make the roster. And so, if they keep 5, I think he could be battling for that 5th spot. Horton, I don't know. Horton doesn't quite have the same underdog story. But I think he is going to be one of those guys who makes plays just because he's fast and he's sure-handed. and you're going to see him on punt return, and so he's not quite the undrafted guy coming out of nowhere, but because he is a 5th round pick, but he's still a late round guy who, again, I think he's going to have a somewhat significant role on this team as a rookie.
Hey, Brady, why did they cut Noah Fant? I mean, besides the part that I've kind of complained about, which is that I don't think he was all that good, did they need the money for something? I mean, like, why cut him?
Yeah, I think Brock has hit the nail on the head with this. It's that it is not really cap space related because they're doing okay, cap space wise. I don't think they needed the whatever $8.5 million of cap space that they saved by cutting him to do anything that they want to do. I think it's more about the cash, because he was owed $9 million in cash this season, and when you start talking about the types of big extensions that could be on the horizon for them, even like when you sign a player to an extension, you can push out the cap charges, so you can keep the first year cap hit low. But you still need to pay that guy a lot of cash up front. So it sort of works in opposite ways. Like a lot of the cash is paid up front, whereas the cap hits are kind of deferred. So they could certainly use that $9 million. Maybe if they extend Kobe Bryant, maybe if they eventually get going on an extension for Charles Cross, which I asked him a couple days ago if he and the team have started negotiating, and he said no, not yet, but I would imagine that's going to start happening at some point. So you do need the cash, and I really think that one of the concerns of theirs is that if there's a guy who was sort of on their roster bubble for whatever reasons, and he's set to make a lot of money, I think it's John Schneider's worst nightmare that guy ends up getting hurt, and he gets hurt so bad that he has to go on IR, and you end up, paying $9 million for a guy to be on IR who, for whatever reason, may not have been on the team in the first place. And so they've gotten, burned by that in the past. And I think that's why I imagine they tried to trade Noah Fant, and they went all the way up until, a couple of days before the start of training camp before realizing there wasn't not enough of a trade market for him. And again, they just didn't want to risk him getting hurt to the degree that they would have been on the hook for somebody who, they may not have kept anyways.
So let's talk through some of those extension possibilities. Excuse me. Obviously, the biggest name there is Charles Cross. What is that worth? How does that get done? Do you think it does get done, first of all?
Well, the interesting thing about Cross is, remember, he's in a little bit different situation than someone like Kobe Bryant or Boye Mafe or anybody else from that 2022 draft class, because he has 2 years left on his deal. Remember, he's got the 4th year of his rookie contract that he's entering right now, and then he's got the 5th year because the Seahawks picked up the 5th year option. So I don't know if he maybe has as much leverage as the guy going into the last year of his deal would be, just because the Seahawks know that, okay, if there's not a deal, if there's not, if they can't agree on a price that they're liking, well, they still could wait another year. The obvious flip side of that is the longer you wait, typically the more expensive it gets. So I thought it was interesting that, when I asked Cross about that, he said that they have not started negotiating an extension. Typically for deals like this, that kind of starts the ball gets rolling in the spring, and then, maybe you start exchanging offers before training camp, and a lot of times those get done, early in training camp. But obviously that didn't happen, and he said that they haven't even started yet. I would imagine that the ball has to some degree started rolling. But, I do think that the fact that you saw Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson both come in at $30 million in new money, I kind of feel like that's maybe what Cross is going to ask for, just because I realize those guys play different positions, but they are fellow, early first-round picks from that same draft class who also play premium positions. And so I wonder if their side is going to view that as kind of the baseline. And when we say $30 million, that's $30 million in new money. So let's just say, for the sake of throwing out a hypothetical deal, that, he wants a 4-year, $120 million extension. Remember, that would be added on to the 2 years and whatever, $21 million that he's on the books for right now. So it's not like they would be paying him $30 million a year. They'd be paying him whatever it is, 6 years and 141 or whatever. I'm not saying he's going to get $30 million in new money. I just think, just given what Wilson and Gardner just got, I wonder if that's what he could be looking for.
And then you mentioned Kobe Bryant. You think a deal maybe gets done there?
I think there's a good chance, and he's maybe a guy who wasn't on everybody's radar as like the top extension candidate just because they obviously drafted Nick Emanwari in the second round. But yeah, I do think there's a good chance something gets done there. Not going to be a massive deal. If I had to guess, I'm going to guess somewhere around like 3 years, and we'll call it $23-24 million, something like that. So a shorter term deal that gets him in below Julian Love, who I think is making $11 million a year, but still obviously gives him a nice pay raise. And it would be sort of a case of them betting, kind of buying low on a guy who they feel like has a chance to pop. And remember, he was only a starter. Obviously, he played nickelback early in his career, but remember, he only entered the starting lineup in, week 7 of last year. And so maybe not a guy who's in position to command a lot of money right now. But if you wait and try to, sign him as a free agent, next March, well, just sort of given the trajectory of where his career is going, I think they feel like, it might be a lot more expensive, 7-8 months from now.
Well, just interesting to hear you talk about the possibility of extending Kobe Bryant, but not hearing the same thing about Boye Mafe, who really has been, a starter for or a significant contributor for most of his time on the team.
Yeah, and I don't know that I'm not suggesting that they're not. I feel better about just based on kind of my read on the situation. I feel more confident in saying that I think there's a chance that they do Kobe Bryant. I mean, they very well could be negotiating with with Boye Mafe as we speak. I just don't feel as confident about that. I mean, and yeah, for all the reasons you mentioned, good, young, productive player. I do think that the true core guys are Cross, JSN, and Devin Witherspoon, and obviously it might be a situation where you've got to pay all three of those guys next off season if you don't get Cross done this off season. But I think Boye, I think he would fall kind of into that next category of guys that, good ascending player. He's maybe not as young as other guys who are entering their fourth season just because he was a year or two older coming out of Minnesota. But I think he's a guy that, just knowing, again, kind of the same thing with Bryant, like knowing if an edge rusher pops in his fourth year, well, all of a sudden that's $20+ million easily. So maybe this is another situation where you could get a guy a lot cheaper than what he might be if he has another strong season.
More likely to pop this year, Boye or Derek Hall?
Boy, I've seen some good things from Derek Hall, and I think it's interesting that that DeMarcus Lawrence has really seemed to taken like a liking to him. And we heard, I think it was who was it? Jaron Reed maybe say that he kind of described them as kindred spirits. And I asked him what he means by that. He said they're sort of the same player, and I said, what do you mean? He goes, they're both crazy as hell. They both kind of play with that dog mentality, like hair on fire. Just frenetic style of play. And, I'll tell you set a little scene from the last couple minutes of practice a few days ago. So it's the final period of practice. The starters are on the sideline, just sort of watching the end of practice while the second or third team is in there. And DeMarcus Lawrence kind of pulls Derek Hall off to the side. And those guys spend the final 5 or 6 minutes of practice just working on pass rush moves. And it's very hands-on. Like DeMarcus Lawrence is telling Derek Hall exactly where his hand should be on this given move. And so that is, one of the benefits of having a guy in, his 12th season. Obviously, they feel like on the field, he's going to be an upgrade over Draymond Jones because even if he isn't as big, he's a more physical edge defender. But there is also that benefit of a guy who has been in the league so long that he can really help out some of the younger players, and it seems like that is happening specifically with Derek Hall. And so Derek Hall obviously showed a lot last season with an 8-sack year, but just with another year under his belt and a pretty accomplished veteran in his corner, I think that I think he's going to be a player to watch this season.
What about so they lose Chenna again, and that seems to have been kind of a theme of the last couple of years. This we know it's going to go into the season. Who knows what happens beyond that? Is there the possibility of a Chenna replacement out there? And, obviously I would like it to be Trey Hendrickson, but if it's not him, is there a lower level version, somebody they can go get that would fill some of that role?
Yeah, I think Brock has mentioned the name Jadeveon Clowney, which makes a lot of sense. just because obviously the organization knows him. McDonald knows him, I think he was in Baltimore a couple years ago. So there is some obvious familiarity there. Maybe there's another, guy out there who's available via trade who's not happy with his contract. I just haven't gotten the sense that Trey Hendrickson, and look, we talked about this on the golf course, why it would make a lot of sense to us. I just think, the big issue, and they've pulled this off a number of times, John Schneider has, but the big issue with guys in Trey Hendrickson's situation is it has to be so bad, the situation has to be so bad with his current team that he is willing to accept a situation where he goes to another team and he knows he's not going to get paid. I mean, Trey Hendrickson is in this position with the Bengals because he wants a new deal. And the Seahawks organizational, philosophy has been that they're not going to acquire a guy via trade and pay him right away. They got burned with Percy Harvin doing that, and they haven't done that since then. So all the guys that they've traded for, whether it's Leonard Williams or Jamal Adams, they never even paid Clowney or Sheldon Richardson, but Dwayne Brown had to wait to get a deal. They don't trade for a guy and pay him right away. So I think with Trey Hendrickson, it would have to get so bad in Cincinnati that he'd be willing to come to Seattle and not get paid right away. And it sounds like there is some movement there. It sounds like the two sides are talking. And so, it's amazing that they've pulled it off as many times as they have, because it just takes the situation with the other team being so bad.
Well, they should try to pull it off again. And I get that I understand they got burned by Percy Harvin. They don't want to get burned that way again. That makes sense. I mean, even after waiting on Jamal Adams, they still got burned, right? I mean, that happens. Sometimes you make bad deals. And I think that's been one of John's strengths, is putting them behind him and saying, all right, that was a bad deal. That happens to every GM. How do I move forward? Yeah, I don't think that should be a detriment. And as we saw with Dwayne Brown and others, they were willing to continue to play out the rest of that deal once they were in a new place, because it is a new place and it gives them a fresh start and it clears the air, and you don't have some of the acrimony that starts to exist between a frustrated player and a team.
Yeah. And, it does sound like, again, it sort of may be something of a moot point, because I remember talking to our Bengals reporter, Ben Baby, who covers the team for ESPN, and a month or so ago, he thought that a deal would eventually get done, and that a lot of this was just the kind of stalemate posturing that you see. And then, when it came down to it, that they would eventually get a deal done. So, I mean, look, that defense in Cincinnati was terrible last year, and it got their coordinator fired. And you don't get better by trading away the edge rusher who's had 17 plus sacks in each of the last two seasons. And so I ultimately think that a deal is going to get done there. And, whether, I don't know which side has to fold, but I do think a deal is going to get done there. And I'm sure, just knowing everything we know about John Schneider and the way this front office operates, I'm sure that they've looked into it. And I just the fact that it hasn't happened yet, and that I haven't really gotten the sense that it's likely to happen, I think that just tells me that they just don't feel like it's the right kind of move for them. And again, there are other guys out there who can help them. Certainly not guys coming off 17 plus sack seasons, but they are going to add somebody. I don't think there's any question about that. I just don't get the sense it's going to be Trey Hendrickson.
All right, last thing here, and then we'll let you go. And Maura and I are both coming over today, so we'll get to see you at practice. Give me one name, one guy that you've just been pleasantly surprised by at practice so far.
Pleasantly surprised. Well, I mentioned Torrey Horton, so I'm going to try to give you another name. I mean, this is not a guy I've necessarily been pleasantly surprised by, but I think you've all got to keep a really close eye on Damian Martinez now, the 7th round pick from Miami. Just, I think he was going to be in a battle with Kenny McIntosh for that number 4 running back spot, and now I think he's very much got the inside track, assuming that it is in fact a torn ACL for Kenny McIntosh. And so Damian Martinez does a lot of things well. I think the thing that he's best known for is the physicality that he has. And again, that's not something that's really going to show up when they're not in pads, but they're in pads now. So that's one thing I'm looking forward to seeing is how physical is Damian Martinez, and how much is he really going to, grab that number 3 running back role now that it's wide open for him.
I think you know that I'm going to be watching Jalen Milroe as soon as I get there. Our buddy Brian Nemhauser, Hawk Blogger's been very excited about the first couple of days for Milroe. Have you seen the same type of, do you have the same type of excitement?
The thing that I think he's impressed me by is just the operation looks clean. And a lot of times when you get rookie quarterbacks in there, you forget about once the play starts, or forget about like the accuracy or the decision making. It's like a lot of times the play doesn't even get off because it's such a cluster, at the line of scrimmage. And I haven't seen that. He can run the offense, just operation wise. And, we really haven't started to, or at least I haven't noticed this. I haven't noticed the sort of, the kind of plays that you imagine they're really going to use him in, right? Like the sort of specialty packages where you really try to take advantage of his legs. Like when he's been in there, he's really been playing quarterback, and it seems like he's just sort of trying to get the base offense down. And I think he's doing an okay job of that. I mean, there hasn't been any moments where I've truly been wowed, but I think when you're talking about a rookie quarterback, you're not necessarily looking to be wowed. You're just looking, okay, can they come in and get the playoff and command the huddle and, get everybody lined up all right? And, yeah, he seems to be doing a fine job of that. And he has made some good throws. They're just, it hasn't really been that wow Jalen Milroe moment yet. But I do think that's going to happen when they really start to focus on the kind of plays that they're actually going to be using him in when the regular season starts.
As you're falling asleep last night, I mean, knowing that you had 5 birdies.
Oh, I know.
Five
exactly
birdies in the round yesterday. As you're falling asleep last night on your birthday, Brady, how much are you thinking about 2 OBs on 1 hole on 17 and the 8 on the scorecard?
Yeah, that was tough. That was really tough. It was 2 lost balls in the woods. Yeah, I don't think fatigue became a factor. I think just, I think what it was. So as you know, I took this trip to the UK, this golf trip last month with 3 buddies, 2 of whom you met yesterday or you played with yesterday. The last round we played was at Carnoustie, of course, where John Vandevelde had that famous meltdown on 18. So I think it wasn't 18, it was 17. I think I was just kind of channeling Jean Vandevelde there. But I did, yes, for the record, I did take an 8. I put 2 balls in the woods after back-to-back birdies, and there goes my round.
Bye, Brady. Thank you. We'll see you this afternoon.
All right. Thanks for reminding me.
No, anytime. That's what friends are for. That's Brady Henderson, of course, Seahawks reporter extraordinaire for ESPN, ESPN.com. You hear the music, it means we're done for the day. Sounds like Manual Class A is going to be done for a little while, too.
I was about to say, we were talking off the air about...
says he's been placed on a non-disciplinary paid leave as part of a sports betting investigation. Uh-oh.
Well, that's the second Guardians pitcher in the last couple weeks that's happened to. So off the air, really quick before we get off here, you and I were debating, who would you rather have, Emmanuel Clase or Joan Duran? I was leaning Clase.
Yeah, how about now?
I think I'm out.
You want to come to Duran's side with me now? I'd still take Jax. I think you'd get him for less, and I think he's a really good player. So, all right, we got to go. Bump and Stacy up next. We'll go get to see practice today and see what we see and report back. Brock's in studio for the rest of the week, starting tomorrow, so we'll have a lot of fun with that. Pass him. We can ask him about this whole deal as he joins us at 8:30 tomorrow morning. Until then, the hay is in the barn. See you, everybody.
Get to the chopper!
Bump and Stacy, weekdays 10 to 2.
I'll start with the biggest storyline. I mean, it's Sam Darnold, right?
Yeah, it's got to be Sam. When you get into training camp, this is when you really make this thing yours. And I compared it to like religion. Like, you just got to have faith, dog. Like, that's the only way. You can feel it sometimes, depending on what you believe in. You can see it sometimes, but you don't really know. You got to have faith.
Bump and Stacy, weekdays 10 to 2 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
When it comes to the security of your business, doubts can creep in about who you're trusting to protect it. At Bay Alarm, we got you. For nearly 80 years, we've been putting our customers' minds at ease with our advanced technology and personalized support. Feeling insecure about your current security service? Visit bayalarm.com today.
You've heard the saying, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Since 1926, my family's been helping local businesses make great first, second, and long-term impressions. We know how to make your company look good with quality uniforms, logoed apparel, floor mats, linens, and more. If you're paying for linen service or doing it yourself, let's have the conversation. The information and quote are free, but the savings and service can really add up. visit suplinen.com. Superior Linen Service. It's what we do.
Upgrade your heat pump or air conditioner right now and save up to 25% during Home Comfort Alliance warehouse clearance sale. All remaining 2024 heat pumps and air conditioners are now up to 25% off. Visit homecomfortalliance.com today.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Progressive's Teen Driver discount could lower the cost of insurance for your teenager and save you some money. And then you can still spend money on them. Because just when you think you have a grasp on spending, new sneakers. And then it's money for a school field trip. And of course, spending money. Oh yeah, and a new phone to replace the one they dropped in the toilet. Oh, don't remind me. So just get Progressive's Teen Driver discount. And then you can continue to spend money on them. Endlessly. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discount not available in all states and subject to terms and conditions.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Summer is in full swing, and T-Mobile Park is the hottest spot in Seattle. Randy Arozarena, his 4th home run in the last 3 games, and he is high-stepping all the way to 3rd. Don't miss out on special events like the next Mariners Fireworks Night this Friday, presented by T-Mobile. Cal Raleigh and the crew are taking on the division rival Rangers at 7:10, and after the final out, we'll be lighting up the sky with an epic post-game show. Fireworks and Mariners baseball. That's 2 spectacular shows in one unforgettable night. Holy smokes, what a firecracker! Off first deck, number 34 for the big number. Go to Mariners.com to lock in your seats and check out what's on deck at the ballpark, including Aloha Shirt Day this Saturday at 1:10. Plus, be here for more can't-miss post-game events. The Mariners Drone Show is August 22nd, presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort. And the final fireworks night of the season is September 12th. Mariners baseball. Trident's up.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at Xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed broadband experience report August